Welcome to the Cigar City Sports Podcast. Mr. Nello,
I'm so perplexed at this.
you booked a certain Georgia Bulldogs, but you forgot Mr. Nicholas Saban. And what did he say to you? Roll motherfucking Tide, baby.
I just wonder how much it cost the SEC to get both those teams
Roll
in the playoff.
motherfucking Tide.
AB, if you're out there, they were in on those shenanigans too.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the Cigar City Sports Podcast. Enough fooling around. I am your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is the winless Nello.
Oh, man. Winless?
Mr. I can't book a flight. Thank you so much for taking the dogs. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for being here, Nello.
See, if I would have known that Nello booked it, I would have went the opposite way too.
I almost did officially.
Nello, how you doing, buddy?
I feel great after that intro.
Good, good. Clay, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, man. But I want to say real quick, I'm eating my crow. I was unbiased, and I feel like I was dumb to pick Georgia. I feel like I was trying to be a non-homer for the sake of this. I wanted Bama to win, of course. I bet on Bama to win. I enjoyed watching it, but I felt like going into that game, based on the sample set we had, that they were going to beat us. I never thought they would blow us out like so many stupid people were saying on TV. But
there were a lot of stupid people on TV. What was that number you gave me earlier, Nello?
What number did I give you?
The number of the country that bet on Georgia to win?
A very high over, I think it was like 75%, 70%, something like that.
I believe the direct number was 85%.
I don't remember.
Of the country was on the Georgia Bulldogs. And what happened?
They got whopped.
Why did they get whopped?
Because the SEC fix was in.
Do you have
the fuck up.
Do you have any idea how much Vegas made on that upset?
Yeah.
But listen, let's just talk about it real quick. Georgia laid a goose egg, whether they did it on purpose, whether it was SEC pulling the strings. I refuse to believe.
Nothing but they got outplayed.
I refuse to believe that that's the best Georgia that Bama faced that
Nello,
day.
please.
I can't. No.
Bama did what Bama has done so many times.
Even I'm stumped at that shit. Like, I could not believe that defense. What the fuck?
I'm kicking myself still for not believing in them. But Bama did what they do. They showed up when they needed to. And not to mention, they got a lot of fuel the week prior.
I want to
I'm
say
not gonna
something.
lie, you get a lot of respect from me for actually saying that you thought that Georgia was going to win. A lot of people won't take their team as, like,
The eye test and the
like,
stats.
Oh, we're the best, even though you may not be.
I'm
Look
never.
at me. How many times have I picked against my Titans?
That's right.
I
You know what I
am
mean?
never going to be a homer on this program. Never.
How many times have I picked Florida State to lose?
Yeah.
When a team that you see is better than you and you think that they may be better than you, you're not.
So hold on. By process of deductive reasoning, you're thinking that I was homer picking Alabama?
Oh, no.
He was truly believing they were going to win.
And then there's the, man, fuck it, I'm taking them anyways. And that's me. Like, when they play Florida, I'm taking them
That's not what I did.
Let me state very clearly, as the two Bama fans here, Jack full on 100% believed that Bama was going to do exactly what they did. And he was right.
And I called everything that needed to happen in order for Bama to win that game is what happened. We shut down the run game of Georgia. That's what happened. And then you had to trust a walk-on to come beat an elite defense. Are they as elite as Georgia? Probably not. I said that on this show.
But they didn't look elite in the biggest game of the year.
But I said they have not faced the eventual Heisman Trophy winning Bryce Young. They have not faced Jamison Williams or John Mechie. They did not face that caliber of offense. They
Will Anderson
fucked everybody up.
Listen.
But we did what we had to do. We made them throw the ball, and they can't throw the ball because they haven't had to, or they've been playing some subpar defenses to where they could throw all over them. And I said, If one team can challenge Georgia, it's going to be Alabama. And here's how. And they did exactly what I said they were going to do.
Challenge is one thing. Make them look like shit is another.
Here, and there's also people are like, oh, man, Georgia, they just gave it to them so the SEC could have two people. I want you to show me a coach, not named Brian Kelly, that would sacrifice 60 of his players' chances to win an SEC championship and give them that memory. And not only that, put away the number one team that could have knocked them off. Because let's be honest, if they beat Alabama, they don't make it to the playoffs. They don't have to see us again. So why the fuck would you take it easy on them?
I don't agree with the only team that can take Georgia. I won't agree there.
Let me go ahead.
You don't agree right now because Georgia got exposed. That's why you don't agree.
Let me go ahead and shut that stupid ass argument down.
I don't know, Michigan. I don't know.
Not only are you not going to have a coach that would in any way sign on for that, you honestly think the players aren't going to tweet some shit out?
100%.
Fishy? That's all. You didn't need a point like that to be made to know that it's dumbass to think that.
They have game plans.
That's all you need
for weeks at a time,
yes.
And for when they know for a fact, because we've all known, we've seen the game, we've known for a long time SEC championship was going to be Georgia and Alabama, and you don't think preparation for that happens throughout the year?
Well, of
now,
course.
if the quarterback or the running back or the offensive tackle all of a sudden get in the game and plays that aren't rehearsed and run throughout the year aren't being run, you don't think they're going to say something?
But there are other ways to do this. You guys are assuming that the coaching staff's like, we need to throw a ball here. We're just going to run it. And there are other ways to get around this.
I will tell you right now why. The second, third, and fourth quarters were a totally different game than the first quarter and how people thought the game were going to go.
Let's talk about the game. Let's get out of this conspiracy
let's
theory.
do that.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
right
let's talk about
Although
it.
it was a fix. The fix was.
Let me tell you what happened. The Alabama offensive line, especially against Auburn, has been crap. Bryce Young has been having to run all over the place. Our running backs have not been able to get big open lanes. They've had to make moves.
Brian Robinson.
They have had a very bad issue with the blocking on both pass and rushing plays. If you watch that game again and just look at the Bama O-line, only the O-line of Bama, and you really focus on every Bama offensive play, you will see that is the best performance of any offensive line in I don't know how long. It was we kept watching, and I'm just like, look at that, man. They're blitzing 5. Nobody's even getting close to in the pocket.
Here's another thing that happened that didn't happen often, and this is one of the big reasons that they won, is Bryce Young decided to take off and run. He wasn't doing that all year.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, first time he started running, I was like, oh, shit, that's right. He's pretty fast.
You want to know why he did that in this game? They watched tape.
Yeah.
They knew.
That's what I was going to say.
They knew.
Georgia is more speed than power rush. So, I mean, if they come in hot.
Yeah, outside of the O-line, that's what it is. That O-line, I don't know if you saw how the Georgia O-line and the Georgia D-line. Yeah. Did you notice how big they were with their starters, their jumbo set? Those
huge.
Guys were gigantic. Look, standing next to our guys, I'm like, is it just the white that's making them look huge, or are they that big? And I was worried, and then they got up 10-0. I'm like, shit, it's actually going the way I thought it would.
Georgia got exposed
and then they stopped
when they couldn't get pressure with their front four.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's the thing.
That offensive line,
and then they tried throwing a linebacker in there, and he wasn't getting anywhere.
And once they threw the linebacker, Bryce Young was able to run.
He was cutting it up. Now
that's why Saban is so good. I'll give you that.
So they get the lead. It ends up being tied, and then they get the lead before the half. Bama getting that last touchdown before the half is what set the tone for the second half, because now you got a Georgia offense and defense both sitting in the locker room going, we just gave up more yards and more points in a game in the first half than what we've averaged the whole year. So we have a problem here, boys. And the players that are going, these guys they're not just big like us, they're fast.
And
their big boys are fast.
The fact that you guys were able to stop that mammoth of a defensive lineman to fucking
that's what I'm saying.
No
that
production,
was it.
But little to none.
And then
that's when you guys won the game.
And then what did you start seeing?
Bro, those DBs are suspect
What'd you start seeing? Our defense kept good, but level pressure And once Stetson got down, he started trying to force shit. Look what happened. 2 interceptions, 1 for a pick
I
six.
will be curious to see Bama without Mechie.
Me too.
I will
be curious to see if they'll be able to get the same production. That kid's a stud.
He's definitely going to be
Big
missed.
time.
But he wouldn't play half that
but
game.
I can tell you this. All you're going to see is some stupid, ludicrous number from Jameson Williams.
Maybe.
Or
I mean, you
next
guys
man.
are
He's the
known
fastest
for
guy on the
people
field.
just next man upping and fucking going crazy.
When we
Exactly.
play Cincinnati, Jameson Williams is definitely the fastest man on the field. Whether we play Michigan or Georgia and play Georgia again, Jameson Williams is still the fastest man on the field.
You're also forgetting a guy that was really integral in the team, but has really been super quiet all year in the tight end Billingsley. That guy
and Latu. Both of them.
Latu, that's who you're going to see in the rematch, if there is one, is a lot of Latu, a lot of Billingsley, a lot of Jameson Williams, but it's going to be Georgia and Alabama, I think, again. But
And Slade Bolden can pick up some Mechie slack.
it didn't matter. Slade Bolden was the real MVP, man. He was Mr. Third Down. He was the guy who,
He showed
when
up.
we needed something and they were starting to say, shit, we need to double Jameson Williams. The problem is, on a couple of his touchdowns, he is doubled.
One note to say, how about that quick thinking shovel pass to Brian Robinson from Bryce Young when he was already scrambled out 6-7 yards, and then this guy's about to hit him and he just shovels to Brian Robinson.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Oh my God. Nobody saw it coming except for Bryce and Brian. That was it. And now, man, that was good. Oh, it was good. But when you look at it, when you give Bryce enough time, we saw that. And then we were able to pressure Stetson, and we were able to get back there with the different blitz schemes that we do. I can tell you this. The O-line, for damn sure, players of the game, first.
Those safeties stopping the run, man.
Then Bryce, then Jameson. But I'll tell you this, on that tight end side, Georgia was running 3 different tight ends in that game,
my
and that
God.
number 19.
Brock.
Was that 19?
Brock.
Oh
I
my
forget his
dude,
last name.
That last touchdown they scored to him, that he just grabbed the ball with our dude all over him, just yanked it down. We didn't have it. I told my buddy Sportco, I said, hey, they just need to throw it to him for the rest of the game, and they might actually get back in it.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
They didn't have an answer for his toughness.
No.
Because they would come in and 2 or 3 guys would try to tackle him, and it took 2 or 3 guys.
Brock Bowers. Is the
Bowers,
Brock
that's
Bowers,
it. Yeah.
That guy had a monster game. He was Georgia's most valuable player that game.
That's Baby Gronk.
And then I can't remember the name or number of
I think he's
the other of the 3 that had a good game statistically.
He's not a baby Gronk because he doesn't have the size to be called that. And just because he's white doesn't mean he's baby Gronk. He could be baby Travis Kelce, who can do a lot.
He's not baby. You know he's 6'7", correct?
Yeah, no.
He is 6'7".
He's 6'4".
No.
He's 6'4", 230. I mean, I got
I'm
his wiki right here.
So
then what
so
number
we're back
is
to the
Brock?
fact that he could be Travis Kelce.
Number 19.
Because 6'4", he's not that huge.
All right, so he had the biggest game. There's another tight end they have that's 6'7".
You said 19, right?
And he looked like a monster. Yeah, that's the guy that had the big game. He was
Brock
bulldozing us. They'd throw it out to him in the flat almost, just a little small route, and then he would just run over everybody.
He's the typical college athlete, man. There's levels, and he was at a different level. He's a playmaker. You put the ball in his hands, just like Jameson Williams. You put the ball in those guys' hands, they're going to do something for you. And Brock Bowers was clearly it for Georgia.
But they've got a tight end that's like 6'7". Yeah. I promise you, because the announcers go, that's 6'7" right there, because he was just towering over our boys.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just playoff weekend. I mean,
Jay Fitzpatrick. Don't know what his first name is, but he's a tight end who is John Fitzpatrick.
There you go.
86.
How about the fact that Michigan is having a hell of a year? I thought Iowa was going to play spoiler. I picked Michigan.
Wait, real quick.
Thinking they were going to squeak it out, but they absolutely dominated start to finish Iowa.
Before we talk about this, because you guys were absolutely right, and I was wrong again here, do we get to see JT Daniels in the playoffs?
JT Daniels.
The quarterback who was supposed to start but got injured, and that's why Stetson is playing.
Oh. No, I don't think so.
No?
I think he's done for the year.
Is he? I thought he was on the bench.
Well,
they were rolling
maybe you're
with
right.
odd
Maybe he
hands.
was there because he was coaching him on the sidelines, but he's not the one that gave them success.
But he was supposed to be Georgia's starter this year.
And then what?
And then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Stetson came in and did his thing. I don't think Kirby Smart's the guy who's going to replace that quarterback. I don't see him doing that.
You kind of can't when a guy's undefeated up until that point. You
Right.
know?
I like how we're going into the next game I got wrong right out of the gate.
Well, you did get a bunch of them right.
Not many.
Yeah. But Michigan surprised me. Michigan
man.
surprised me.
Tell me about it.
I didn't think they were going to do what they did to Iowa.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be like
And
that.
I don't know if Iowa just fell off, but in watching the game, Michigan made plays when they had to.
That defense is playing spectacular.
I don't know if it was so much that as Iowa's defense was fucking terrible.
Yeah, Michigan owned that field. They played great defense.
McNamara
And their
is actually a good quarterback.
Michigan's defense has hit this stride. Let's hope, for their sake, they can carry it into Georgia.
I personally would love to see the Wolverines. Play
Cincinnati.
And yes,
Woo!
I'd
I
much
am
rather play Michigan.
100% discrediting Cincinnati. I don't even need to wait to get to the picks. I think we fucking roll over them like they're not even there.
We're not going to pick this early.
I want it to go like it should, and this be the lesson to all these stupid people out there that say they deserve to be there and that strength of schedule is not as important as they put on it. And for Alabama to make the statement that says, yes, this is just like we score against South Central Louisiana State in our second game of the year.
And I want Saban to
know
just
what I
keep
mean?
running the score up. Like, why are these guys here?
Well,
But what happens if that doesn't happen?
Then you change.
That's the biggest story out of these playoffs, no matter who the hell wins. The fact that Bama lost to Cincy.
Well, they're not going to lose.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know that.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
That's an absolute sure thing.
Okay. Are we going to get Georgia Bama, or are we getting Auburn Bama?
If we get Auburn Bama, we
Cincinnati
still beat
wins that game.
Cincinnati by
No
2 scores.
Hey, hold
way.
on. Auburn, Bama.
What?
Didn't
Hold
Bama
on.
still win that game?
Yeah,
Hold
they
on.
look like
Hold
shit
on.
in that
real,
game.
Real
And they
quick,
still
real
won.
quick.
Look like shit.
Why?
You can't look like shit against Cincinnati.
But who at Cincinnati is going to show up for them compared to how Auburn showed up and our O-line was dog shit? So if our O-line's dog shit again and they keep getting to Bryce and keep him from scoring, all right, because that's step one. You got to do that or you're going to lose.
Right. And that defense has
from
been
Cincy
very good
is going to put up
at
points?
bending and not
Who
breaking.
from Cincinnati?
I'm not
Do
saying,
you know who they have?
Now, I'm not comparing.
Do you know who they have?
I don't.
No,
I do
because
not
their
follow-
only good
but-
player is their quarterback. They have no one else.
Well, that's
but
not
because
fair
they
either.
played no one else.
That's
but
not true.
Notre
They fucking
Dame.
played
That's
Notre
what I
Dame and
was gonna
stopped them. And stopped them.
Hold on.
I was going to say, who have they played, bro?
They beat Notre Dame, which is the number 5
they
team in the
beat Notre
rankings.
Dame.
Okay.
Listen, I hate Notre Dame just as much as
Did you
you
see
do,
that
but we
Tulsa
have to
score?
give them credit what credit's due.
Hey, did you see that Tulsa score?
And they say
Okay.
they say a blind
How
score
many
if I'm
points
not
did
being-
fucking USF put on them?
You guys let Florida go all the way for 2. You lost to Florida by 2.
USF put up 40 plus on Florida any given Saturday,
So,
but that
there
is
you
not
go.
the case in the playoffs.
Well, bro, I'm telling you, Auburn Bama shows up.
No.
Cincy rolls.
You are
Hold on,
off your
hold
rocker.
on, stop. This is ridiculous. Auburn Bama, that's the biggest fucking rivalry in college football. So you mean to tell me Auburn doesn't play their best football of the
Yes.
year
Yes, they
against somebody that they could spoil? You're
At home.
discrediting
At home.
Bama going into Jordan
home.
Hare
Yeah.
to play Auburn. You're just saying, oh, Auburn Bama, that's a fucking anomaly. That's like saying Florida State Florida. Florida State has played like fucking shit all year, and they hung around a little bit against Florida. Are you saying all of a
little
sudden
bit, the whole fucking
Those
game?
both teams were like shit at that
Florida
game.
won by
no,
3 points.
It's not excuses for one and not excuses for the other.
What is the excuse?
And here's
You're-
the thing, though. We're trash. Florida
Okay.
State is garbage.
Hey.
So is Florida this year. What's your point?
Us and Auburn both played like shit that game. One thing I can 100% guarantee you, and I went against my better judgment last week, is that Alabama's going to fucking show up in big games.
All I'm saying is
That's
don't
it.
discredit them. Cincinnati
And
isn't
they
somebody to
have-
write off. That quarterback
they
is legit.
listen,
that defense is bent don't break.
Alabama,
Look what they did
the,
to Utah.
the people that
I mean,
are playing
Houston.
the game, the
Houston.
people
Look what they
that
did to
are
Houston.
playing the game are not going to discredit them, but I will absolutely discredit them right now. It's
I
gonna
hope-
be,
I
it
hope
is
you
going
guys
to
are
be
right.
an ass whooping.
Great.
We're not
Let's
just
go ahead
playing
and
no
say
chance.
this.
That's what you got. If I'm right.
Let's go ahead and say this. Let's say Cincinnati, even though none of us know who their other players are, who their skill players are. Let's say they
I
have a
never said I
lights out running back, two lights out wide receivers. Who plays fucking offensive line for Cincinnati? Who plays defensive line? And hey, you watch a lot of football, right? Where's the war one?
In the trenches.
In the fucking trenches. And when you're blocking me with your sister's kids, I'm going to fucking win. And it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is or your wide receivers, because when your quarterback is hiking and then running a 40, hey, let me go ahead and bring you back to Tampa Bay, Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Doesn't fucking matter how good your skill players are.
100%.
When it
Your
comes
offensive
down
line
to
needs
the
to be good.
offensive and defensive line, and they're a liability against a big team like Alabama or Georgia or Michigan or anybody that's not Cincinnati, you're going to have fucking problems.
I'll tell you this. Like I said, when I saw Georgia's their starting lines, I'm like, oh my God, against our guys, they look big, so they're huge. Now we know.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know our guys are big. I know their sizes.
Damn right.
You just wait. Just wait till that first play from scrimmage. Doesn't matter who's on offense and who's on defense. Our line is going to look like
Elephants?
Titans.
All right, so I can tell you how this game's gonna go. You ever seen?
You guys said that about Clemson, and they got your number once too.
You seen the Little Giants in the last game?
Oh,
We're
speaking of
spiking
Little
them,
Giants,
we're running all over them,
I love that.
and they were
movie.
getting blown out. And then Icebox comes in. On the
Ice
second half.
box.
It's gonna be the same thing with no Icebox.
No Icebox.
bro.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get pounded on. They're losing by more than 28.
You don't know
They
that.
are gonna
And they
lose.
damn
Hold
sure
on,
ain't
hold on.
got no
They're going to
annexation of
lose
Puerto
by
Rico.
more than 28 points. Book it.
Wow.
There it is.
I'm sorry. What?
Wow.
More than 28 points.
28. You're talking
Call
4
it.
touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you heard it. Wait, but now we have to. At some point in time, someone needs to pay for these bets. Now back to the story. What are you playing?
Hold on.
You're wagering. You're not just booking something like this without a wager.
Wait.
It's
You
not
did.
money.
You did
When did
last
I-
week with Georgia, Alabama. Didn't you book it with no wager? Hey, isn't your tab on the house a little bit fucking bigger than Ryan's? Last I checked, he's booked some shit and it's actually come through.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry.
I don't
I'm sorry.
remember.
I know,
yeah, the Florida shit.
I
You're
know
right.
misery loves company.
It does.
But you're gonna sit alone on the bench on this one.
Okay, fine. You can
Because
bring it
I'll
down.
allow
I just 28 points. I
until
knew you were gonna have to do
Ryan's
something.
Until Ryan's book
They
it
might
start
win,
getting a
but
little
not
bit more
28.
suspect.
Oh, bro, they're gonna get pounded on.
We
They are.
should go back to Michigan, Iowa. That we just went off the rails again with the E SEC.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. No, we didn't go off the rails with the SEC. We want to talk about your love affair with these little baby teams and wanting them to do good so you can be right.
But Cincinnati's not a baby team. I mean, they took Notre Dame, and this is the only team to beat them. Was his number 5 team, which is why they should be 4, right?
Yeah.
Which is why it went the way it did. Maybe if
Look.
did Iowa show up in this game? By the way, let's go back.
I'm going to
Honestly,
be realistic, and they're probably not going to beat them by 28 points, and that's only because they're going to be beating them so bad in the first place. They're just going to have like their second string.
I wouldn't
come
be
in.
surprised if Bryce don't play. Bryce,
And they try to-
J-Mo.
Oh, come on. That's
They
little
don't
fucking
play the fourth
disrespectful.
quarter.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm going to disagree with you because I think Saban learned his lesson with taking 2 out so many times in the game. I don't think we take anybody out, but I don't think we take our foot off the gas.
I mean, running the ball. They're just going to run clock. Or,
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Be safe.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man.
Get in and get out.
We're so hurt at running back. You don't
yeah.
want to risk.
Trey Sanders is not like so it's funny we've had so many people in the backfield, but anyway, we're not sticking on that. Let's actually go to Michigan and Iowa. Michigan, man, Iowa tried this little trap play that they almost scored a touchdown on. That little swing out to the running back, and then he overthrew the guy in the end zone, which may have changed the outlook of that whole game. But then the next drive, Michigan's on like the 50. They run the same play and score a touchdown off of it. I mean,
That boy
Georgia,
needed that ball too.
Michigan is really hungry to have some success here. They are really tired of everybody calling them Ohio State's little brother. They are really tired of having the Big Ten be slept on. And I don't think that's going to matter, but I think they're ready for blood.
Dude, I have not seen a beating in a championship game of that like top 4 conference in a long time.
Man, I think it's John Harbaugh. I was like, hey, listen, man, they about to fire me. I'm going to get everybody NIL deals. Y'all please just beat Ohio State.
No, I think it's more what
Please.
Jack said. I think they were sick and tired of being
Man,
disrespected.
they've
They're
hit a
like,
stride.
screw this, let's do this. You know,
One thing about Harbaugh,
he knows how to motivate him.
You start building that momentum and hitting the stride like they have, he'll keep that shit going and keep those flames fanned for sure. He's
difference
very good at that.
the difference between Harbaugh now and before is that Harbaugh, once he had a lead, he would run the ball. Now, doesn't care. The throttle is still always down, and that's it.
I think he's also finally got a decent squad. He's got leaders on both sides of the football.
And McNamara looks really good.
A lot of teams are suffering from that right now, and I think maybe I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but that's a direct correlation of the transfer portal and not losing a year of eligibility and getting name, image, and likeness deals and making people feel like they're bigger than the team. You don't have any true blue leaders that care about their school and want to go in there and get everybody's mind right. So Michigan now is not suffering from that. They've got some people that are leaders on both sides of the ball. And, I don't think Ohio State has that same equivalent on their end. I think they're playing because they're playing for the Ohio State, which, speaking of which, the high school quarterback that went early to Ohio State, Hewers, that we were all thinking, damn, this kid is going to be legitimate. And he was so proud to go to Ohio State, and we were giving him shit about leaving his high school team. He's already gone. Ohio State isn't what he thought it was year one when he wasn't even the starter. And he has zero loyalty to Ohio State. He thinks he's a gunslinger, so he wants to go to another program. You guys lost a couple games. You're not going to the playoffs. I'm the fuck out of here. Instead of looking internally and looking at his team and trying to build them up and be a leader in the future, he says, fuck it. I'm out of here. I'm not even going to lose eligibility.
I mean, well, to be fair, if you think you're just as good as the person starting and you know you're not going to start, why not go someplace else?
He's not as good as C.J. Stroud.
He's not. C.J. Stroud is in...
Didn't I just say if you think...
Right.
That you're as good as him.
I also think I'm Superman, but I can't fly.
You know who else left Ohio State after they wouldn't play him? A guy by the name of fucking Joe Burrow.
You know who else? A guy by the name of Jameson Williams.
Yep.
So I don't disagree with you. So maybe it's a leadership problem at Ohio
State. He's a red shirt, and he won't even sit one more year. I don't know. I think that's a character issue more than anything else.
Maybe it's a
But I heard he's going to Texas or something.
Issue for Ohio State in a sense that they don't have that marquee coach. We're not going to sit here and pretend Ryan Day is a marquee coach, are we? Mm-mm. There's a handful in the league right now. Handful. I'd say right now, who do we think is a marquee coach? Saban. I hate to say it. This is disgusting. I don't like it, but Jimbo Fisher is one of them.
I was going
to
say
for
Jimbo.
Sure. Dabo is.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo Sweeney.
I'll take Dabo over Jimbo.
Harbaugh.
Yes.
And as much as it's going to upset one of us, Franklin. He is one of those guys.
No.
Yeah, he is. You don't like
Brian
him.
Kelly is
you're also,
way better than Franklin.
I disagree.
You
if it
can't
was
just,
me,
you got to take all the bullshit aside. He took a Cincinnati team to Bulls. He took Notre Dame to national championships. And now he's going to take LSU, and he's going to win a title at LSU. And you guys are going to have to swallow it.
He took him to a national championship and got blanked.
It doesn't matter. He got there.
No, he got blanked. It's very embarrassing to get blanked.
Didn't he go to 2 national titles?
Luckily,
and lost both?
Luckily for him, LSU allowed us to blank them first, so he wasn't the first to be blanked in a championship. Yeah.
I'll say this.
It's very embarrassing.
If I'm a high school recruit,
he still got there.
I'm going to Franklin 10 times out of 10 before I go to Brian Kelly.
Stop. Notre Dame before Brian Kelly? Notre Dame before Brian Kelly.
If I am a wide receiver or a quarterback, I'm looking at what Lincoln Riley's going to do in USC.
Brian Kelly before
he doesn't have
Notre
the
Dame.
resume yet.
Notre Dame before Brian Kelly was obscure, obsolete. Same thing with Alabama before Saban. That's not fair.
Are you building all of Notre Dame's legacy on Brian Kelly?
Recent.
Okay. Because you said before Nick Saban.
No, it's true. Recently before Nick Saban.
How recent is recent?
Charlie Weiss was no good.
Yeah, how recent is recent?
Yeah.
Go to after Lou Holtz. Once Lou Holtz gave up the reins to that team, which he was already under decline.
What year was that?
90s, right?
I mean, we won a national championship in 92.
Right. Notre Dame slowly built up and made it to a national championship
You've ever
again.
Heard of Gene Stallings?
I'm still picking Franklin. I'm still picking
over
him.
Kelly. That's a stretch.
I would because
no,
dude, Kelly's done nothing.
What the fuck has James Franklin won or done?
He brought you guys out of the Bill
and
O'Brien
hasn't won
era.
shit.
He brought you out of a worse scenario than Notre Dame had.
Exactly. He
Wait,
made
what?
you guys relevant after Bill O'Brien turned you into a dumpster fire.
Bill O'Brien was winning Big Ten championships or getting there too. And he made us a dumpster fire. He has a couple good years at Vanderbilt, and we're going to give James Franklin the toad of the town.
I don't
give
think,
him the keys. Get the fuck out of here. He's not worth that 10-year contract.
Other than the SMU death penalty, I don't think there's any other scenario worse than what Franklin inherited
From Penn State.
How do you say of any other worse scenario with that? I mean, shit, man.
Baylor?
Hey, would you like to come play for a team? No, I don't.
No.
What are you talking about? Baylor after RG3 with all those rape accusations and shit, and Art Briles covering up for them.
So you think all that's worse than raping kids and covering it up for decades?
I'm talking about another time comparable
I'm
to that.
talking about there's nothing comparable.
Both of those things are
hard
disgusting.
to rebuild than your entire program being shut down.
I think you're just also used to Paterno and upset. Like a typical Eagles fan, Nittany Lions fan, you expect national champions week one.
I expect to
Nittany
be relevant
Lion
and not
fans,
lose
for
at the end of the
part,
season.
Are appreciative, good fans. So don't lump them in with this guy.
No, I don't
this
appreciate
is just the
James
Philly
Franklin.
in him.
No.
This is just that Eagles fan.
Oh, my
in him.
God.
Yeah.
You got to win the game. You can't go to Michigan and lose to Ohio State. It's the same thing I was telling Harbaugh.
Listen, you were singing like a bird when you guys beat Auburn at home at the whiteout game.
Of course I
This
was,
guy-
and it's the typical Penn State thing. By mid-season, they fall apart. James Franklin, hello.
I don't understand your logic. I don't think I ever will. So we're going to move on. But as far as marquee coaches and going back to Ohio State, they don't have that. They don't have a big name right now, and I think that's why that kid ended up leaving. But
He's not as good as C.J. Stroud is going for a Heisman this year. Come on.
I'm not saying that. Again,
No, I honestly think, too, a lot of it has to do with playing. Like, if you can see the writing on the wall, you're getting out of there.
Isn't he
Like,
from Texas?
You pick up by coach. I'm picking by where I have a chance to play for a title and where I have a chance to actually play.
chance to play for a title. Ohio State's been there almost every year, haven't they?
Yeah, and if you watch,
You have a chance to play for a title every
I mean,
year.
this is legit the first year they lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just what I'm
In
also
6
saying
years.
is you also want to play. I don't care about winning a title if I'm fucking sitting next to the water boy the entire time.
Joe Burrow had 2
3
years
years.
on the bench before he left, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about you
so-
redshirt freshman out of high
so-
school, and you want to start for one of the biggest programs.
You want
in
to
the
start for
country?
Ohio State?
Sure. Okay.
Hey, if you feel like you can.
I mean, you can feel
Red
like that.
shirt?
I'm still thinking that it's a lack of leadership for him. So let's look at Ohio State. What year is C.J. Stroud?
I think he's sophomore.
Oh well, then I could definitely see
that's
where
what
you're
I'm
coming
saying.
from.
It's
On that.
also he's a sophomore. He's
This kid doesn't want to sit and wait for the last year to play. Okay, that makes more sense.
He'll be eligible for the 2024 draft or 2025. So he's a sophomore.
Yeah. Well, Stroud has
Or-
put up ridiculous numbers. It doesn't matter, or it doesn't hurt that he also has an electric core of wide receivers. That dude's got some real good targets to throw to. So maybe that is it.
One of those guys could look good in green jersey at the next year's draft.
Smith and Jigba.
Yes.
Smith and Jigba is a beast. He will be playing somewhere on Sunday, and somebody will be very happy to have him.
If I can't get my number 5 from Penn State in Philly, then I want him second.
And Garrett Wilson. They've got two guys going over 1,000 yards, averaging 15 yards a catch. It's just ridiculous. They're doing really well. Let's talk about some other. Well, hold on. We've already got some awards that we need to talk about.
We
Hold on,
didn't
hold
finish
on.
the rest of the games either.
We didn't finish the rest of the games. So
God.
Cincinnati beat Houston. We knew that was happening.
No, we didn't. I picked Houston because I thought they could win.
I did
So we
too.
knew that was happening.
I thought Houston could beat them.
I picked Cincy.
I thought I picked Houston
tired.
too, but we were wrong.
And unfortunately, Cincy controlled that game. They did.
I mean,
They controlled it start to finish.
they had it in control. They lost, but they won by 15.
Yeah.
The Roadrunners screwed me again. I went against them every time.
You went against Utsa?
Yeah, I took Western Kentucky. I thought they were going to score points. That's all they do, and they did not score enough. So,
funny, in
hooray.
those trash games, the only people I take are the ranked teams that are higher.
How about Oregon
Yeah.
facing its father again and getting another spanking?
That
I
one
just-
I called wrong.
I just remember very clearly a certain Georgia fan screenshotting that score and saying, "Oh, look, Oregon can't get past Utah." I just thought that was rather
such
ironic.
Such is the case elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
Around the league.
You know, I just realized what you were talking about. I've been for 3 days. I'm like, what the fuck does this picture mean? And now I got it.
Because he was shitting on Oregon for not being able to get past Utah, which that turned out to be a certain pot, a very dark shade of black, calling the kettle, which was also a dark shade of black.
Speaking of Oregon,
because Nick Saban is still Kirby Smart's daddy.
Speaking of Oregon, since we're talking about them, what's up with this? How do you guys feel about the way Miami handled this coaching shit?
It's not Miami. It's not Miami. It's the way the coach handled it. He was in charge of that. If he bought into it, he left, he went.
He was in charge of leaking it to the press weeks before it was happening?
No, but the coach going and pursuing that opportunity. So he leaked it to the press. Did he just meet with them via Zoom? He didn't go down to the university and talk to anybody? He didn't sit and meet with anybody in the meeting room. If he didn't want this to get out, don't go searching for another job in the middle of the season. Because if Miami wanted him, they'd wait. They don't have any bowl games to win.
But Oregon does.
Exactly.
They were still the number 10 team. They're still going to get a really good bowl game. You're just going to give up on those kids because, we didn't make the national title. I'm out. Deuces. So what?
You're not catching what I'm saying here.
I get what you're saying.
As the coach, you stick around. You finish your season. You do like that old boy did with the Raging Cajuns. You stick with your team. You handle your business. You want a new job? Handle that after the season. It getting leaked? Sorry, coach. You looked for another job. What you want? I'm sorry it doesn't look good. I'm sorry that you were premeditatedly leaving your team and going somewhere else and didn't like that people found out about it. Sucks to be you.
The only thing I hate about this whole Hurricanes coaching situation is they didn't hire Lane Kiffin, so we don't get Kiffin in Miami Twitter.
I know.
And I am very upset about that.
Do you think if Kiffin already got caught once, you think Kiffin could withstand the temptations in South Beach?
Kiffin would be running buck wild.
He would.
And would be tweeting about it and be open about pretty much all of it. And that's why nobody would give a shit
on his
but laugh.
Twitter. Just kill the hooker, LOL. Dude, Kiffin is a mess.
Kent State, Northern Illinois took care of business. I think we all had that.
Yeah.
This was my favorite game of the week.
Oh, I didn't even see that game up there.
Baylor, Oklahoma State.
Oh, God.
That was a fucking good game.
And this is another one that I went against what I've normally done all year, and I stuck with Baylor. And this week was the week that Baylor was like, oh, you don't want to pick us?
They won.
I know. I didn't pick Baylor.
I know.
You said you stuck with them. That's why.
Exactly. I normally stick with Baylor, and that week I didn't.
Yeah. I took Baylor because just
typical Gundy, get into a big game and can't get it done. And I really thought that freaking after they beat Oklahoma, I'm like, all right, they're ready. He's got them ready. But that quarterback, 3 interceptions, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That Baylor defense took note of what happened in that first game.
100%.
And that last play of the game with that running back, that's such an unlucky break. Bro. Like literally
the reach. It was bad.
I blame the running back.
He could have cut it. He could have cut it faster. He should have turned up.
Ran through him.
He should have turned up just a little bit sooner. He would have been fine.
We're also talking about Pittsburgh, Wake Forest. I think we all took Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Wake did not wake up for this game.
Brad Pickett. Did you see that run?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Apparently, he faked 2 guys on the way faking a slide.
Yes.
And so when they gave up, he got back up and started running. I was like, this dude right here. That was a one of those 200 IQ moves.
Yes, it was. That was definitely a high-quality play.
Yeah. I did not see that coming. I'll say that right meow.
USC Cal won.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the best championship of all, the Mountain West Championship, we all got it wrong.
Damn.
That's
Utah
because
State,
it's the Mountain West Championship.
Utah State came and just put the boot stomp to San Diego State.
Hey, out of the obscure conference championships, the only one that I'm seriously disappointed in and that I thought I was right on was App State.
Yeah, me too.
No, I knew he was coming back. I knew Billy Napier was coming back.
I hate seeing it because you know, Jackie's cousin played for App State, and they were like voted best offensive line a lot, and they were very good, and him and some others left being drafted or signed or graduated and was gone.
Sure.
And I hated seeing because they just hired this lifelong guy as the coach. They brought in somebody from the outside, and he left him hanging dry after a year. Brought this guy in. The players loved him. The town loved him. It was a whole thing. And they lose just that. They lost quarterback, running back, and 3 of their top offensive linemen, and I get that. That's tough. But I still thought they'd still work that conference. It just kind of sucks because I really thought they were going to beat them.
They should have probably given them $90 million.
I mean, they would have beat Miami.
Shit.
They would have beaten Miami if they hadn't have fucked themselves. If they had to make dumb mistakes, they owned Miami that game. They just made 2 very stupid mistakes in that game that cost them that
and
game.
One of them was not having more points than Miami.
That makes 3 then. But the 2 mistakes I'm talking about led to that.
Yeah. So you almost sound like Nello here.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's take our first break of the day, and then we will get back into some more of these coaching changes that happened.
We have to talk about these contracts that these guys are getting. They're fucking nuts.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
They have their own...
He can't help it, guys. If Nello's not talking, he can't breathe.
Fuck, sorry.
Oh, my goodness. And we're back. Cigar City Sports, baby. We're talking about some coaching carousels. Oh, here's something I want to talk about that's not football related. The Tommy Fury-Jake Paul fight is officially off.
Oh, man. What happened?
Was it illness?
He says it was an illness. Then he said he had broken ribs and a respiratory infection, but he was breathing enough to talk some shit. He was breathing enough to say he was going to beat the brakes off of Jake Paul. And now... what? Now it's done. Now he's doing the rematch with Tyron Woodley is what I hear.
More money.
Golly, there is more money there. There is more money there.
Yeah,
I would have been half tempted to pick Jake Paul to beat his ass. He did not do anything to impress me on Jake Paul's undercard. Anyway, that sucks. We had some good fights coming up. Tyson is getting ready to fight Logan Paul, too.
Dude, this weekend's UFC card is amazing. Poirier Oliveira. What are we talking about? Dustin Poirier. Let's go.
Yeah,
it's going to be an amazing fight. I'm so hyped.
You think he beats Oliveira?
I think Oliveira's not going to be able to strike with him. I think Oliveira's going to have to take him to the ground, and
Well, Oliveira is a ground fighter, isn't he?
Right, and he beat Chandler standing up.
So I mean,
is he going to be cocky enough to fight the same style Poirier wants to fight?
He's not a cocky dude.
Well, when you beat somebody not using your style, because Poirier, like Chandler is a dog, right? So he's going to get up close. He's going to try to make it a dirty fight, you know? And Oliveira was always known about takedowns and jiu-jitsu and shit.
Yeah, he's got the most submission victories in UFC history or something ridiculous.
His last fight, he knocked out Chandler. He's going to want to show the world that he has power to do it.
Why?
I'm just telling you, that's how it's going to go. And I think Poirier wins. Now, if he's smart, like you say he is, and he takes him to jiu-jitsu into the ground, he's going to win this fight.
Poirier's not bad on the ground.
I
don't think that you're correct. I think if he wanted to prove something, he already proved it. He's going to play his game, try to keep the belt. I mean, he's already an established fighter. He doesn't have to prove anything. He's made UFC history already.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody.
Honestly, I think what's his face? Poirier's got more to prove than anything.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I think he's going to try to make the fight fit his fighting style versus Oliveira's. Because Oliveira, you can go to your corner and he's going to submit you somehow. Like, that guy's just ridiculous. So you got to really watch a guy like that.
Who's the favorite? Who's favored to win?
I'll look it up right now.
So I'm not a bettor. Y'all need to help me. I got it right here. Oliveira plus 135. But he's the underdog.
He's the underdog.
I honestly think Oliveira takes this fight.
I like Poirier. I don't know why.
I don't disagree. I think Oliveira has a good chance, although Poirier is a dog.
He is.
Poirier, I don't have confidence picking Oliveira.
See, and the only reason I think that is because Oliveira has gotten out of some very slippery situations, and before you know it, you're tapping.
Yeah.
And that's the way I think that fight's going to end, and I think Oliveira's going to win.
Here's the last thing I want to talk about.
Hold on. Amanda Nunes is fighting on that card.
Oh, wow.
Sugar Shane O'Malley, too.
Sugar Shane called himself the unranked champion of the UFC.
He's minus 300.
No. Sorry, Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane.
Are you willing to bet something on the Julia Pena, the Emmanuel Nunez's opponent, at minus 550. I mean, plus 550. I'm sorry.
No, I don't bet, so I'm not willing to bet. Sorry. Talk to Brian Crowningshield. He's a better. He'll bet you.
Anyways, besides the betting that set apart, like Julia Pena is supposed to be one of the toughest girls Nunez has fought.
Good.
So it'd be interesting to see that fight. What sucks about this card is that it was supposed to be Masvidal Edwards, and Masvidal pulled out.
Masvidal's doing wrestling right now. He's on AEW.
I think that's why he pulled out.
I mean, he's probably making more money.
Yep, here comes the money.
At AEW.
For sure.
So first of all, I don't have to get punched in the face.
And I get to ship me. Yeah.
I don't have to get punched in the face. I can do sports entertainment and get paid more money? Yeah, I'm there. Sign me up.
Yep.
Plus, AEW is a better promotion than WWE. There, I said it.
Wow. Vince is not going to listen to us this week.
Sorry, Vinny. Sorry, man. They're beating you, bro. They're just beating you.
There goes the money.
Next thing I want to talk about before we get back into football, how about those Tampa Bay Lightning, Nello?
I mean, you guys destroyed us so bad that we fired our coach. They were just like, this is terrible. You need to leave. Just don't even collect go. Don't pass $200. Just go.
Very recent games, at least this season. I won't say all time, but this season we dominated the Flyers. You guys just look uninspired.
Well.
You have quick breaks. You have some good players on your team, but maybe it is coaching. But all I know is the Lightning dominated you 7-2, and Vasilevsky wasn't even in the game.
Fun fact about last night's game.
Yeah.
I was at Buffalo's house. We were watching the game. We were supposed to go up to New York, but we couldn't go.
Right.
And every time the Monday Night Football game would go to commercial, we'd go to the Flyers game.
Yeah.
And apparently every time we switched over, the Flyers kept getting scored on.
Oh God.
Every time.
It's just no inspiration down there in Philly to win a hockey game right now.
I don't know if it's the locker room giving up on the coach. I don't know if it's just the players that suck. Like, I don't know. How does a guy go from being one of the best new up-and-coming goaltenders in the league to not being able to stop a softball?
Another big thing that needs to be talked about is how the Las Vegas Golden Knights, when they were an expansion team, they showed up and they were in the Stanley Cup playoffs year one. They were dominant.
I was literally just about to ask you how the Kraken were doing.
Not well.
And
it was a different type of draft, though. The NHL set up the Vegas Knights to win. And the Kraken didn't get nearly as much talent as they could.
Playoffs year one, playoffs year two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who did they lose to last year?
That would be the Tampa Bay Lightning. No, they lost to Montreal.
The Canadians, then we played them.
Sorry.
They coming out hot. But that's the thing. Like, let's see, what's the new expansion team?
The Seattle Kraken.
Let's watch them come out.
They're 9-14. They're 9-14. They are a bad team.
You can't come right out the first year like Vegas did. But I'm saying, let's look. You talk about programs, right?
Yeah.
Let's look back 3 years from now and see that they do well.
Yeah,
it may just be a slow start, and what Vegas did. What are they? The Knights or Golden Knights, something like that. Yeah, that maybe that's an anomaly, but the way that they set it up with the whole expansion draft and all, it definitely favors the incoming team.
So in 2018,
unfairly, I think.
In 2018, they lost in the Stanley Cup final. In 2019, they lost in the first round of the playoffs. In 2020, they lost in the conference finals. And in 2021, they lost in the conference finals again.
Yeah.
But the draft that Vegas got is an anomaly when they do these expansion drafts. They got some real talent on that team.
Well, maybe it was an availability thing that Seattle doesn't have, but I think you're going to see Seattle be one of the stronger programs very quickly because the whole premise of it is unfair, I think.
A lot of expansion teams don't make it. Look at the Atlanta Thrashers. They didn't make it.
Yeah.
They moved back to Minnesota.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be failures.
But most expansion teams fail because the talent's not there. It's the truth.
A team that I want to see and I think is going to be making a splash, we're going to be talking a lot about, are the Oilers.
I love McDavid. I really feel like he's trapped in a team with subpar talent for his services.
I think we need to be a little worried about Florida.
Yeah, I mean they're number one right now in their division. They're a hell of a team. We played them last year to get to the finals. Somebody booked them beating the Lightning.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, but the Lightning didn't exactly breeze through that.
No, they didn't. That was probably the hardest series out of all of them.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one.
It's about time. I know. He ordered that an hour ago.
I know. I forgot.
We're just getting some bad
My
service.
beautiful wife coming here to bring me a drink.
Although I just want to say real quick for the record, I was the only one that took the Steelers last week.
I told her that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Brownie points.
But Florida, I think. What are the Lightning right now? Like 15?
The Lightning are
18,
actually the Lightning have a
5-1
better
or
record right now than Florida. We are 24 or we're 15 and 5.
15
well, no, we're
and
not.
5.
Sorry. We have as many games as they do. We're 15 and 5. They're 17 and 4.
We're 15-5-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be a little worried about them being the path through the playoffs for the Lightning.
They are lights out at home right now. They are 14-1-0. They are absolutely killing people in their stadium.
What about the Leafs if they can actually play good? Like they have talent on that roster.
There's a lot of talent right now.
And the Bruins are always pesky and dirty.
Yeah. The Bruins are always dirty. I'm not a fan of the Brewers.
Detroit ain't
Bruins.
Detroit's pretty bad.
Garbage. At least they're not 8-11
Detroit's
and
pretty
4.
bad.
Yeah.
At least they're not.
On an overall aspect for the past couple of years. I haven't seen them this year.
Aren't they better than the Bruins right now?
A game
Record-wise?
though, and it's so early in the NHL.
But they're not great.
It's 13 wins to 12.
You brought up the Bruins. Okay, but you brought up the Bruins, and then I bring up the Red Wings, and you tell me that they're garbage.
They kind of are, and it's early in the season.
So they're one game better than who you said, but then you give me shit for what
They are better. They've won more of their games.
One game.
Detroit has won more of their games, and they've played 4 more than the Bruins. So the Bruins have not really had the best luck. Detroit has a better record at home. They were in the playoffs last year, just like the Bruins.
How about the Islanders only having 5 wins this year?
That is crazy.
They are on
not
a
crazy?
10-game losing streak.
Then that means they started off 5-0. And then lost all 10 since then.
They last night, I think. It was either last night or the night before. I think it was last night.
It's 11 now.
God.
Okay, so last night they lost their 11th game in a row.
And the Flyers aren't that far behind with 9. So,
Holy
it's the
cow.
fight for the bottom, I think, is the next Stanley Cup. That's
They
how
want
they're
that
doing it
toilet
in
bowl.
the league.
They want that toilet bowl. Hey, ice melts in the water.
Just relax. I mean, we're going to get it together. This is the beginning of the year, you know what I'm saying? Just
Give up
calm
on
down.
it.
Because you
Give
guys
up
are
on it.
spoiled anyways.
Hey.
Two back-to-back championships. You think that hardships don't happen anymore?
Focus on Gardner.
Oh, I
next year.
definitely do.
I almost came in with aviators and a mustache.
I wish you would have.
God damn it, I really wanted to.
Wish you would have.
You like that?
I don't like that at all.
That's a little hockey puck that I got from the finals.
Oh, really?
Guess what I got?
That's cute.
What?
A Kucherov autographed puck
No way.
with the certificate of authenticity.
Boom.
Good for you, man.
I am so
Good
proud
for
of it.
you, Bobby.
That is amazing.
That is what playing in charity golf tournaments gets you. That kind of access.
When are we going to play golf?
Oh, my God. I can't wait
I got
to
that
show.
driver,
know
man.
how
It's
to
just
play golf.
sitting there.
Here's
Me
the-
neither.
here's the problem.
But I'm getting a hole in one. Did
Here's
we
the
not talk
problem.
about that?
Oh,
We
yeah.
have to go to we got to take off from work
Oh, no.
and go on a Tuesday morning
Yeah.
to a garbage course that's not busy.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to let 15 groups play through us.
Making me play through?
Because you're going to be all over the place and just completely
I only play
terrible.
one hole. I don't want to play the whole thing.
Oh, you're
Well,
going to.
Well, even still, even if you're riding around, you're still going to have to play most of the holes. We probably will, just out of sympathy, stop, but you're going to play the first 5 in a row.
What we'll
sure.
I'm not
do-
playing 5 holes. I'm playing one
And
hole.
we're
What-
not
what
capping
we'll
it
do-
at 10 strokes. We want to know just how many.
I was
going
to say, why don't we just do best ball and play so we don't have to follow him around? Because you would ruin golf for you forever.
I want to go
But-
5 holes.
Bro,
You
Nello,
I'm not making 5
Nello's
holes.
just showing up, hitting a hole in one, throwing it in.
I'm
getting
John
it back
Daly in
the
this
I
bitch.
want-
I don't
I
understand why
want-
you guys are not. I'm fucking Happy Gilmore in this motherfucker.
I
you
want
not
the
understand?
first 5 holes. Let's do 3. We'll do 3.
I'll give my first book it that you don't hit the ball past the ladies' tees.
What?
Oh, that's easy.
That's
I'll book that all
that's
day.
my book.
What does that mean, past the ladies' tees? What is the ladies' tee?
Exactly.
That right there tells me all I
that's
need to
it.
know.
What are we doing?
I honestly would.
So many people are at home listening to this going, fuck, I want to see that.
I feel
What's a ladies' tee? I don't understand.
I feel pretty confident
I don't
booking
know.
that when you address the ball and really mean to hit it,
You're
you're
putting
gonna
people to
whiff
sleep
the first
with
time.
golf.
oh,
I
you,
talk
that,
he's
that you missed the ball completely.
Full on whiffing the first time.
Whiff the first time?
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Let's put a $50 bet that I don't whiff. As long as I hit it.
Whoa. No.
It's
Because if you're trying to, see, that defeats the purpose. Because if you bet that, it's a guarantee you hit the ball.
You're gonna
but
hit
when
it.
you're going
That's
up there,
not a-
maximum effort trying to hit
Nothing
it, you
is
will
a
whiff.
guarantee with me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There is a guarantee.
I fully am
that
riding.
if you book it,
Oh, fuck you.
they will lose. Ask
terrible.
the Georgia Bulldogs.
I fully am riding this bucket train that you will
Yeah.
not hit your first tee shot past the ladies' tees.
I don't know what a ladies' tee is. Can somebody tell me?
Yeah,
gonna
absolutely.
find out when
So
we get
on a golf course, let's explain it. There is a spot for the men to hit. There's
Two
a spot for the old
spots,
folks
actually.
to hit. And then there's a spot where the ladies hit.
I'm hitting it from the men's spot.
We know.
Yes. So here's how it works.
The lady
There
tees
is
are closer.
There is a.
Oh, you don't think I'll get into
hold
the
on.
field of play?
Listen,
Okay.
there is what's called
Okay.
the tips.
All right.
I
Listen,
almost just wore that drink.
listen. There is what's called the tips, the furthest tee box to make the hole longer.
I just want to tell everybody I'm sorry that this
hold on.
golf shit's putting
That's
everybody
for
to
the
sleep.
really good.
No, they're ready to see
That's
you fail.
for the really good. That's for the really good male players. Then there's the next tees up that are for the run of the mill guys like us to hit from. Then there's the people that are over 60 tees. Then there's the ladies tees. And they may be 40 yards up from where we're hitting from on the.
You're telling me I
amateur
can't hit a
men's tees.
golf ball 40 yards?
You won't on that first tee box.
Bro.
I
Okay.
guarantee it.
All right.
I'm Happy Gilmoreing first hole in one,
I
first
love-
swing,
I
drop the
love
clubs,
that-
take your shoes, which you bet me back in the day, and frame them.
I love that you're betting me on this, and I've been playing golf for 26
What
years.
What else you want to put on it? I mean, this is one of those bets you want to pour it on. This is the
I don't
time.
want to put anything else on it. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm
I
going to hit
didn't
it
think
past
so.
40 yards.
Let's talk about.
Can we call
Lincoln,
it Tony
Lincoln-
Clay and Nello's? Because we can bet that.
I can't take my dad's name away from there.
We
It'd
didn't
be
say
Tony
that.
No,
Clay.
Tony Clay and Nello's. We're gonna put you at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You want to do that?
I don't
Just
know.
I'll
get
bet
an insert
that.
on the sign.
Hey,
We'll even give him an Italian name. We'll call him Claycenzo.
Hey, WinStar
Wow.
payments can be Nello payments. We can make that bet right now. Gladly do
I don't
it.
want to do that. I think that's not appropriate.
I'm gonna have a lot of
because,
explaining
you
to
have-
do,
you
but I
know,
feel
no,
Listen,
no.
I just got to be able to set up the camera before
wait,
you
hold
swing.
on. What's the bet? Is it the 40 or is it the hole in one? A hole in one is very.
You've already
I'll
made
do
the
it.
hole in one bet.
Listen.
He's just booking that you're not going to
There's-
hit it past the ladies.
There is no chance that there is a better chance of a polar bear clawing its way through the window of our studio and killing everyone but you and giving over and giving you a hug than you hitting a hole in one on the first shot.
Nello, I am a single digit handicap
I have no idea what he just said.
that has
We know.
that has played golf for 26 years. 4 of that was competitive in high school,
Okay.
in which I was a scratch golfer. I've had birdies, eagles, never had a hole in one, but have a double eagle, which is 3 under
And then you
par.
get Happy Gilmore walking to the crowd
I've
and just
never
destroying the
had
ball.
a hole in one. You are not going to do that ever in your. You could start playing golf tomorrow and play every day of your life, and there's still a good chance you're not going to get it. Especially
Unfortunately,
if
I'm
you
going
don't
to
go
hit
get
it on
lessons.
my first swing.
Bro, I got a better chance of going down in the corner store, asking for every fucking scratch off they got, and hitting $1 million on every one of them scratchers before you freaking hit a hole in one.
Everyone?
Every goddamn one of them.
single
That is
one.
literally the
I would
the
book-
odds
I
of
would-
you
There's
hitting
still a
hole in
chance you
one.
could hit it on every single one.
I would book that before I would book you hitting a hole in one.
You hitting a hole in one, you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning 5
Twice
times.
or something. Yeah,
No,
more
he's
than
up to 5 at this point.
Yeah.
Especially if you're never going to get lessons, you can play golf every
I would book in a heartbeat that with lessons in 3 months of golf you don't hit a hole in one.
Oh, I've had swing coaches for years.
What's a swing coach?
The
Like
coach
the
that
dancing
tells
guy?
you
The
how
one
to
who
swing.
dances?
It wasn't a
swing
guy
dancing?
that just gives you lessons. It's a guy that you work with 4 days a week.
You actually
that
go to coaching for
breaks
this
it down.
shit?
I did when I played competitively in high school. I wanted to try to get a scholarship.
Clay wanted to be Tiger Woods.
Let's get back to Lincoln
Tiger
Riley
Woods,
being
y'all.
scared of the SEC.
Yeah, let's get off this nonsense.
Yeah, let's get
I'm
back
hitting
to
that. I'm hitting that 40 yards.
Let's get back to Lincoln Riley being scared of coaching in the SEC and leaving a better program to go coach garbage USC.
Wouldn't you leave for that contract? Come on, man.
I respect that he probably thinks if he goes to USC and turns that program around, which I don't doubt I think he could. He could be a Pac-12 champion within 2 years, for sure.
Wait.
And do what with it?
2 years?
Within 2 years,
3.
I'd say so.
I'll give you 3.
I can see within 2.
Have you seen USC?
Who did Oregon just lose to?
Utah. I'm looking at the competition. That's really not that big a thing. His name is already garnering huge recruits to go to USC.
Chip Kelly's going back to Oregon.
When you get the money and you have the...
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Watch.
When you get the money that they're giving him, and you add his recruiting ability, because he's a damn good recruiter, and you have the ability to create Heisman candidates year in and year out, basically.
And he has. Look at Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. Look at all them guys.
You can run that Wild West because you're at USC. You are at the program of the Pac-12.
Yeah, I hear Reggie Bush is even coming back.
You think Cincinnati going undefeated and making the playoff is more unbelievable than Lincoln Riley 2 years in at USC going undefeated in the Pac-12?
They do not have the talent to do that.
Pac-12.
I don't care how good he is. He needs 3 years to get his own kids in there.
I agree with what Clay said.
Transfer portal, bro.
Yeah, he'll get this.
Isn't there a kid that's
it.
going to Arizona State or Arizona? Was it one of the top quarterbacks that played? He's transferring out.
No, it was a kid that was committed to Oklahoma, decommitted from Oklahoma, and is committed to USC to follow Lincoln Riley.
But there's also another guy. I'm going to look this up right quick because I know I'm pretty sure.
So let's talk about that. I agree. I think USC only has to really contend with Oregon and Utah in order to be the kings of the Pac-12. I don't think that's a big ask. I think he's scared of the USC. And I want to put this comment out to the group.
I'm scared.
Brian Crowning-Shield and I were talking about Brian Kelly going to LSU. And he thinks that because Les Miles and Ed Ogeron were able to go to LSU and win championships in their first couple years, that Brian Kelly, he didn't say would, but has a good chance of doing that as well. My argument is, I think LSU is about to hit a major decline, even though they just paid Brian Kelly crazy money, because Ogeron and Miles were able to get a lot of recruits from Oklahoma and Texas to come play to the SEC, and now they're not going to get that. I want to pass that discussion out to the round table. We'll start with Ryan. Do you think Brian Kelly is going to A, be able to win a national title with LSU, B, be able to out-recruit Texas and Oklahoma and all those other big schools right around LSU to keep them viable in terms of recruits?
No. I don't think he's going to do much of anything. I mean, there's always a chance, but I don't see LSU winning a title anytime soon.
The biggest thing they have going for them is that they have one of the absolute toughest venues in all of football to win a game, because playing in Death Valley is extraordinarily hard.
I'm not going to lie, though. With that contract they gave him, I'd take my ass down there, too. Get jet time, $95 million.
Bro. Accepting the contract was a no-brainer. But I have to agree with you. So here's what you're looking at LSU now. Let's not fuck 10 years ago. Yeah. Now you've got Jimbo Fisher to the west of you, right? Mm-hmm. Let's not forget you're adding a couple of very good teams to the SEC in a couple of years.
You're getting Sarkisian and you're getting the Venerables from Oklahoma. Let's just add them now because they're going to start recruiting the SEC right now.
You got to fight with those guys. Now let's add Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss because he's a hell of a recruiter. You got to give it to him.
Lane?
Now you've got him at Ole Miss, whereas used to Ole Miss and the Mississippi State didn't matter really.
Mm-hmm.
They got what they could, and that's all they could really do. That's why they were insignificant outside of Eli.
And now we've got Arkansas doing what Arkansas did this year. They didn't shut it down in the SEC. Yeah. However, Arkansas has been nothing lately, and this year they were relevant. They were not as slept on as they have been, and for this coach to be there 1 year and see this much of a turnaround, it's scary to think what he's going to be able to do going forward.
The Saban recruiting is going to stay the way it is, harsh for everybody, but watch what Harsin does at Auburn. Watch what he does.
Although, I mean,
Any good Auburn recruiting coach, when they come in, they pick a whole lot of talent out of Florida and Louisiana. Watch what you see with what Harsin does these next couple of years.
Don't write out Stoops either.
They come in and they poach Florida and LSU because that is some of the highest concentration of high school football talent in the country in those two states. Yeah. People think Florida and Texas all day long. They forget about Louisiana. But these coaches know that. Watch Auburn. Watch what Harsin does. Makes it even harder for him. Now you got Kirby Smart saying, we're right there on the precipice. Do you want to be a giant killer? Why are you going to LSU? You want to get beat in the season? No. Come on and kill the giant in December with me because we're right there.
And he's a better recruiter. Kirby Smart is a better recruiter.
So good.
You got an unknown in Florida. You don't know what Napier's going to do. He's done a great job in Louisiana.
Yeah.
He's done a great job turning that program around to being nationally recognized.
I think it's the best offseason
Stoop
pickup
in Kentucky.
I think it's the best offseason pickup that we've seen so far in terms of head coaches. I think Napier's got the best situation to go into. B, he may not have the biggest contract, but I think Florida is definitely doing well in that pickup. I don't see.
I like Miami.
Although, I mean, Brian might not do too bad because I mean, one of his biggest drawbacks was the fact that he coached Notre Dame, and they don't play anybody. Now you're in the SEC, and then if they can win some games.
Hey, look,
well,
Brian
I mean,
Kelly
but
said,
it's still the environment of all these other SEC coaches we're naming. They have way more to discuss and to attract. And then and you know what? Because we're not used to it yet, we haven't even talked about where the most money goes for nil deals.
NIL, yeah.
That's the other thing that's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
You're going to make way more money at Alabama or Texas A&M or Florida. You're going to make at Georgia now. You're going to make way more money on nil deals than you are at LSU.
Yep.
Unless you're that very top, the top three prospects will make a killing. But after that, the fall off is so big compared to these other programs.
Yeah. I was talking about this earlier. We can get back on the coaches thing, that's fine, but I wanted to talk about the awards. Specifically, you.
I walked that back, but okay.
Who is your Heisman favorite right now?
In my opinion, are we talking about the comparisons, or are we talking about who's going to win?
We're talking about who's going to win. Think's going to win?
Who's going to win?
Who's going to win?
Bryce.
Okay.
Bryce should win because he's just been stellar all
Hands
year.
down.
And I'm not trying to discredit actually any of those guys that are up there. They're all really great players, but I'm trying to think of a decisive Heisman moment. Who has done the most in order to get that Heisman nod as Bryce Young?
Yeah.
If C.J. Stroud beats Michigan, which wasn't his fault, then he could be in there. He could give Bryce a run, but without that win, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah,
there's a lot of room after Bryce,
but I'll take Hutchinson if we're talking defensive players.
That's just
I think this is going to be a landslide vote in terms of who wins, and Bryce is, I think, in a category by himself.
I just don't think he gets it because he's so early in his career.
Yeah, he's going to. No, they're
saying?
not looking at that anymore. He's a sophomore.
Okay, well,
they've given it to freshmen.
I think Hutchinson's going to win.
Yeah, they gave it to freshmen.
Yeah,
I think Hutchinson's going to win.
No, he's
Should
not.
he win? No, but I think he is going to win.
No, he's not.
I think he is going to win.
Why do you think he's going to win?
A defensive
He's
lineman.
lucky to be there.
But he's been so important to that team.
No.
What do you? I mean,
Charles
Woodson
so
was the
important to that
last
team.
defensive
What did
player,
he
right?
do for them to score 42 points against Iowa?
Hold on. He
held Iowa to 3 points.
Well, hold on. He didn't do that by himself. But you have
Bryce
a point.
Young didn't.
You have a point in terms of taking players away, and that's what the Heisman is, the most important player to their team. I still think it's Bryce.
It's the best quarterback.
But
It's so much.
Tell that to Devontae
space.
Smith.
There's so much space.
Oh, my bad. Wide receiver, every now and again.
Aiden Hutchinson's a finalist, but he's at the bottom. He's getting the least amount of votes.
last
Who
one.
was the
see what
last
happens.
defensive Heisman to win the?
But
the
let's
Heisman?
talk
That would
for a second
be
here.
Charles Woodson.
Exactly.
Let's
the only
look at
one.
this. You look at
As
obviously what Bryce
And
Young,
he was a return man and a wide receiver.
Yeah, but so my point being is they're not giving it to a defensive end.
obviously what Bryce Young did against Georgia. That's on full display as the last week before they actually pick, right? So that obviously it's hard. But let's even look at the travesty that was the Iron Bowl. 97-yard drive that he orchestrated
that
and
you
made
had to win.
He didn't throw a ball to a wide receiver that broke some tackle and made some stellar play. He grinded down that field and led that offense the entire 97 yards with cool and composure after putting up an award-winning season and record-breaking season, and then shows up against Georgia and just absolutely curb stomps them.
Let's also say that guys at Hutchinson's position have outperformed him, specifically Will Anderson. Will Anderson has had more sacks, more tackles for losses, more tackles. I mean, he's just been an overall better player. So the fact that Hutchinson is even being considered lets me know that this is just let's diversify the group here a little bit.
I don't know, dude. He's been very integral to Michigan's success this year. And you talked about the Heisman is who could you be like what player on your team?
Let's not even sugarcoat this. The Heisman is pretty much who's the best quarterback or the most popular player.
I believe if you take Bryce Young away from Bama, I don't know if they'll beat Georgia, whatever, but Nick Saban has recruited enough talent to where they could keep playing at that level. But if you take Hutchins away from Michigan, that defense loses one of the most integral defensive pressure,
and then they just become plain old Michigan again. So, I'm shitting on him.
We're talking about integral part of the team, and I think Hutchins is an integral part of that team.
Not
as
more
a joke, but
Bryce.
He's not putting up Heisman numbers. When you think of the Heisman, it's supposed to be one of the best players in college football. Period.
And there is no more important position than the quarterback position.
Which is why it normally goes to a quarterback. Every now and then there's a wide receiver that takes it, a running back.
Actually, I think running backs in college get it more often. Lately, since the game has evolved, it has been a lot more quarterbacks. You're absolutely right. But typically it is running back, quarterback.
And then Charles Woodson being the only defensive person to ever win it.
Well, I mean, last year wide receiver got it.
He has 14 sacks this year. Alone.
Who does?
Hutchinson.
How many does Will Anderson have?
More.
I'll look it up right now.
They were looking at recent players that went to the pros that were national champions, and they compared all their numbers to Will Anderson, and he, as a sophomore, is already ahead of all
15 and a half.
So more.
Yeah.
How many tackles for loss? How many tackles for loss?
So hold on. Total tackles: Will Anderson 91, Hutchinson 58. Tackles for loss: Will Anderson 31.
He's a linebacker though.
Will Anderson 31 and a half. Hutchinson 15 and a half.
Who's a linebacker?
Will Anderson.
Are you watching how he plays the game?
I'm just telling you, he's listed as a linebacker.
He's a 3-4 linebacker, which is essentially a defensive end.
He's an end.
But he's not on the line.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're not looking
different.
at the position.
He is
They're
on the
looking
line.
at what the player achieves and how important is he to the team. And that is why they left him off.
I mean, goddamn, if you're talking about a defensive end versus a linebacker, your defensive end had better have more sacks.
The Heisman Trophy is about who's the most important player to his team. That's why they still have best offensive player and best defensive player awards, best quarterback awards, best O-line awards. They have all of the position rewards, but the Heisman is who's the best and most valuable to his team, and it negates itself.
Here's another.
If you have two finalists from the same school, and that's why they didn't do it, and that's fucking bullshit in my opinion.
Last year they did it with Mac and Deontay. This year they didn't want to do it again with Bryce Young and Will Anderson.
But and that's part of the problem. But they caught a lot of heat for that. People were bitching about it. But also that was a weird year. Like it was Alabama, and then there was a whole bunch of shit, a whole bunch of space, and then you had number 2 team. Like there was no doubt Alabama was the best on the field. For whatever reason, you can't blame COVID because why did we go right back to being a top 3 team but struggling?
But that's to Nello's point that it is more integral to your team, which is why Hutchinson would be there because Anderson has already won the Defensive Player of the Year award.
But that should not weigh in on the Heisman finalist decision.
It should in terms of...
And it doesn't because they actually voted for the finalists before the award was given to Will. They already picked them. They picked the Heisman finalist, and then that night was the Nagurski or whatever.
To me, it's not like they didn't see it.
So let's go over the Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud numbers. If we're assuming
Sure, yeah.
Because we're going Heisman, and we're saying the defensive players aren't going to get it. C.J. Stroud has got 362 yards, 3,862 yards, excuse me.
Wait, is this career or this year?
This year, 2021 season stats.
Okay.
38 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a QBR of 89.8.
Yeah.
Right? Bryce Young has 4,322 yards, 43 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a QBR of 88.9.
So he's beating the brakes off of Stroud.
So, yeah, Stroud has no chance.
Except from QBR.
That doesn't.
One of them was 89, the other one's 88.
You're 1 point across there, but you're talking about 500 more yards, 5 more touchdowns, and only one interception.
And
one less interception.
And some season-saving drives, and them beating the number 1 team in the country.
That 97-yard drive that was all him throwing darts, making plays, making moves, and then following that up with drumming the number 1 defense in the nation and putting up more yardage than they've seen all year in a full game in the first half. There's so much space.
He also set an SEC record for most yards in the game with 421, beating the previous owner of that record being Mac Jones.
Now, let's look at this. Look at this. We got the one guy that said he'll never vote for a Bama player for the Heisman that gets a vote. So we're going to have that one that's not going to go Bryce's way.
See, and with that being said, why is he able to
exactly
because no matter what you do with it, he's been awarded it, and it's a lifelong thing there's other ways to get out of it or whatever, but it's his. He's gotten it. It's his.
That's the thing, is they need to change some of this stuff in college football.
Yeah,
because that to me
that's like lifetime judge appointments.
Now
they need to get rid of it.
I want to read the fourth guy's stats too. At this point, we got to go Kenny Pickett. He's the 4th finalist.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
4,319 yards, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and
not as many touchdowns, more interceptions,
and a QBR of 81.5.
So less
granted,
QBR,
we talked
more
about
interceptions, less touchdowns, less yards.
Yeah. We talked about
more yards.
No, I thought Bryce had 43.88.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I heard that he had.
I think Bryce. I think Bryce had him about like 500 yards. Is C.J. Stroud at 3,900?
Now Pickett also has 241 yards rushing.
Well, that's out of necessity.
Doesn't matter.
And if you're talking about necessity to the team, without this quarterback,
there's no discussion who's winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
There's no discussion. There's no more games to be played. The Heisman is going to Bryce, and he stamped it 2 times in a row. 97-yard drive against Auburn, and then the Georgia game. That's it. It's done.
It's 3 yards more and 1 touchdown more.
He will get
and 4
vast majority of the votes. It will be
3 interceptions.
It'll be a lopsided Heisman vote. He will get a vast majority.
No, man. Kenny Pickett's numbers are really good.
He will also be the first Bama quarterback to ever get the Heisman. Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Ingram was our first Heisman winner ever. And then you got Henry.
Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, and now we're looking at Bryce. Never had one in program history. Saban's going to give us our first 4. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
That's insane.
In just over 25% of his coaching years at Alabama, this is his 15th season.
Yeah.
He's giving us over 25% Heisman Trophy winners, not finalists,
not candidates.
He's giving in over 25% of his years coaching Alabama. He's going to give us 4 Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's take another break, and then we are going to get into some pro football, baby. So we'll see you in just a minute. We're going to get into our recap of last week and then picks for next week. Oh, real quick, Army Navy. Let's just go around the room. Rapid fire.
It's Army all day.
Army.
Midshipman. Let's go.
Army.
No, it's Army all day.
Naturally,
you're talking
alone.
about a 8-3 Army against a 3-8 Navy.
Let's do it.
Stranger things have happened. But look at that.
You just can't stop talking.
Every time.
And we're back, baby.
Rope Tide.
Cigar City Sports Podcast. Jack, Nello, Clay, Ryan. We're back. Oh, let's get into some NFL. And right now, and I'm not just saying this, the current front runner for NFL MVP, I believe, wears pewter and red, and his number is number 12.
TB12.
Do we truthfully,
Taylor,
Nello,
Taylor,
look into your heart?
Taylor,
I could agree with that one.
Not consistent enough.
Do you see
what? Okay, yep. Not
you
consistent
see
enough.
Jonathan Taylor's the MVP?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Leading
But I
passer
can tell
in
you right
touchdowns.
now, though, if they give him the MVP this year, I'm going to be absolutely fucking livid.
Leading passer.
Is it because he's a division rival?
No, it's because Derrick Henry led the league in rushing for 2 years, took his team to the playoffs, was a 2,000-yard rusher, and still didn't win the goddamn MVP.
Boom.
So Jonathan Taylor gets it for just 1 year of being decent.
Oof.
I will fucking fight everybody in
Yeah.
the NFL.
I don't know
so if
about
it happens,
decent.
say it with your chest, square up. I'm coming.
Tighten up, he said.
Lead passer, leading in passing yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's
Tom Brady.
pretty damn efficient. He hasn't had, like he did last year, this spread of absolutely terrible decisions where he's throwing 2-3 picks a game, which down the stretch he did. Green Bay, he threw 3 picks.
The defense.
I mean-
well, but let's be honest. The defense basically bailed him out the playoffs.
A lot.
The whole playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Washington, Packers, they did.
He had a dumb dump off that a defensive tackle took back for a pick 6, which I laughed. Not because just because I love seeing defensive tackles do shit, and we kind of already had the game in hand. Otherwise, I might have lost my mind. But Nello said before last week that the Falcons are a division rival. They give the Bucs a lot of trouble, and you're 1,000% right. But this year, very different.
They gave you a good game for 3 quarters.
I love that meme that I posted in the chat. I don't know if you guys saw it.
No, which one?
When it was like Ryan, he's like, I'm still sore about that.
Oh, I saw
that
this.
lost in the Super Bowl. And then Tom Brady's like, I'm sorry, who are you, champ?
Hey, fella, who are you?
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And Matt Ryan did not have. You picked the Falcons, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
How'd that go for you?
It went great.
Did it go as well as my fantasy
went-
football went?
It wasn't. Did you win?
No, I lost to Brian because, like I said, I had him dead to rights. I needed 25 points out of Mac Jones and Nick Folk. Mac Jones didn't even give me as many yards as I needed points.
Well, he went 2 for 3 for 19 yards and won the game.
19 yards.
He had a second pass attempt at 5 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Did y'all watch that?
No.
Yeah, I did. I watched
And
the
I'm
whole.
glad
I
watched the
full game
thoroughly
with my friend.
enjoyed watching that game. The kicker for
Buffalo.
what's his name? Yeah, what's his
Tyler
name?
Bass.
He missed he had his shortest miss of his career. The guy's a solid kicker, and when he kicked, you saw the wind just take that ball straight right.
And that was the kick
Like
that
he
lost
would
them the
have
game.
had to have started that ball at the left upright in order for it to stay in. It moved that much.
He needed it to be the
and
opposite hash.
Bill Belichick comes out and says, "Hey, we just gonna run the ball."
Mm-hmm.
And they did. Damian Harris was bulldozing people till he got hurt, and then the Stevenson's
Stevenson's
comes in
patience behind that
and
O-line.
just demolished that Bills defense. I mean,
Crazy.
was picking gaps in the line to run through, was making moves against the secondary, knocking over DBs, and he's not a big guy. He's not a bruiser.
Yeah.
Just running the ball, and Bill Belichick was just like, just keep stuffing, and they about let him come back. It was almost Bills almost won that
Now,
game,
I
let's
don't
be honest.
know.
I think that loss was on Josh Allen, though.
I don't know if the Bills.
missed.
You can't
He
put the
missed
loss
throws.
on either quarterback.
He
you
missed
cannot,
throws in the fourth quarter that he doesn't miss.
If you want to put it on a Bills player, put it on the kicker, but you can't.
And Dawson Knox.
You can't, just like you can't on either quarterback, because that wind, that weather condition is that shit that you're just like, there's no planning, there's no playing for that.
Not to mention, it's not like the Bills planned on a 64-yard touchdown from Damian Harris. Sometimes, in order to win the game, you have to throw, and those were atrocious conditions. The
Yeah.
only thing I could think of that would be worse is a snow game or a flat-out hurricane happened in the middle of the game.
Snow's nothing compared to the wind when you're throwing a ball.
He
in
was throwing
Buffalo.
the ball fine. on that last drive at the end of the game, on that 3rd and 19 when he got caught going backwards, Stephon Diggs was open and he missed him.
I thought you said you watched the game.
On that 4th down play where the game is on the line, you need to put the ball on your receiver.
I thought you said you watched the game.
Cole Beasley ran an inside and a deep slant, and it worked.
So you didn't actively watch the whole game.
I did watch the whole game. He missed Cole Beasley.
Josh Allen only did well when he was throwing with the wind.
He was throwing good against the wind as well.
You can't say that. Just because you have some luck, you can't discount the wind.
He missed him on that last
passes
throw.
he made were that were decent downfield passes were to wide open receivers.
Allen missed Beasley on that throw.
Any in the wind play for both teams trying to throw the ball. That's why the Patriots didn't do it.
Nah, I'm telling you, Uncle Rico will make that throw.
First of all, he would. We're not going to talk about Minshew mania yet.
I'm talking about real Uncle Rico.
Let's go back and say, no, if you're throwing against the wind and you have luck, that's one thing. But to say that it's not a factor, that's silly.
He missed. What
I'm saying
Beasley.
Against 30-mile-an-hour gusts.
If you actually watched the game, you would have seen that the quarters that he was throwing into the wind, he did not do well.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
If you watch the highlights, he either they didn't get the route right.
I watched
Beasley
the whole game.
Went the complete opposite way of where that throw was going.
I watched the whole game. You're talking about one play. I'm talking about 2 quarters of the game. One half of the game.
Star players show up in star moments.
When he was throwing it, nobody can plan for 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts and 20 mile straight winds and throw a football into that.
I bet you Brad Favre could.
Don't think you understand.
I get it, but on that drive, he missed on 2 back-to-back plays.
Guys,
he wanted to do too much.
No, we're not going to convince you because you've never been a quarterback and thrown a ball into wind like that to know how different that it is. But we're going to move past that.
I did it on Madden and it worked.
Hold on. Oh, God.
And here we are.
Hey, hold on. Here we go. Hey. That's for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Got them. They got their first win.
I'm going to give them another one.
64 days later.
That is for the Detroit Lions.
You know what's sad is I looked at that matchup and I was like, there's no way. And I went with the other team.
We all did. Every single one of us. You weren't here, but we were like, we're picking the fucking Vikings
just because
we've not had a reason to pick the Lions.
Just because I wanted the Lions so bad. I've been wanting them all year, but after failing miserably, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going with the Vikings.
I remember a few years ago when the Dolphins were straight trash. They never gave you a reason to pick them.
A few years ago?
Yeah.
It seems like that can fit present.
Oh,
but they're on a hot streak now.
But the Detroit Lions gave you reasons week in and week out to think that they were going to win a game. They were playing hard. They were hanging in.
I mean, they really lost by 6 or less for that 5-week span.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker hit a 68-yard field goal to beat them, which was the longest in history, right?
Yes, it was.
I mean, come on.
The longest field goal in NFL history.
That doinked off the post and then fell backwards.
From the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Justin Tucker.
Haven't they lost 5 games by 3 points or less? Isn't it 5?
It's bad.
It's like,
I don't know. I think
it was
it's
6 by 6 or
3.
less. It's like 6 by 6 or less.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Justin Jefferson had a career
monster game
with 182 yards. You monster.
Kirk Cousins.
I'm gonna blaze through these because
real quick, I just want to say to your point about the Dolphins this year, they're on a 5-game win streak.
They beat the Giants. They beat the Giants.
They were 1-7 before this 5-game win streak.
They trounced the Panthers. They beat the Jets. They beat the Ravens.
Okay. There's a notable win.
I'll give them credit for that.
They kept the Bills close.
Lost.
But they are on a 5-game winning streak, and all I'm saying is they're carrying momentum into this playoff run.
I love how you said they won 5 games. They beat the Panthers, and then they beat the Jets.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Come on, man.
What team last year wasn't looking good for the playoffs until after the bye week, and they went 5 straight to go to the playoffs? Who was that?
7-5 during the bye week.
Did Did they win the Super Bowl?
I think they did.
I think they did.
They went streaking.
You don't count.
Look how it's streaking.
Hey,
So you're literally comparing the
that's-
Dolphins right now.
No, I'm
to
just
Tampa Bay
saying you
Buccaneers.
can't
That's 'cause Tua was the
deny
quarterback.
momentum.
Never.
You can't deny momentum. You
No,
can't
no.
because the Bucks last year are not the Bucks. Now you get to see who the Bucks should have been last year without all the COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
This is how they should have been. But
Although Cordero
saying-
Patterson had a day against us, the Falcons were able to run the ball very effectively against the Bucks. And I don't know if it's Cordero or because
It's
Vita
Cordero.
Vea may not have been in the lineup
It's
at that
Cordero.
time, but the Falcons really actually had success on the ground with us, and that made me a little bit nervous. I was like, please God, don't let Nello be right, because Cordero Patterson was an exceptional player, and it's not just Falcons Bucks. That dude really just had a great game.
And then
Cordero's
Goodwin.
on
What
fire.
a game.
Who?
Goodwin. What
Who?
a game. Goodwin.
Who?
Godwin, Jesus
Chris
Christ.
Goodwin.
How many weeks do we have to do this?
Hey guys, I just
I'm
want
sorry,
you to
Chris.
say,
I'm sorry,
all my
Chris.
Bucks fans at home, are you guys watching Mike Evans as closely as I am? I'm not just watching this dude because he's on my fantasy football team, but I'm looking at him because he might be one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, and you had no idea. He's great right now. But if you looked at the league, every year he's been in the league, nobody is saying Mike Evans is the number one wide receiver. However, he's going on a decade of winning, of having 1,000 yards every single season he's been in the league. I don't care if it's, to quote your boy, I don't care if it's by an inch or a mile, he's gotten to 1,000 yards.
Yep.
And he is on pace. He is almost to 800 yards now. And he is getting ready to do it again. You might be living in the Mike Evans era and not even know it.
Bro, honestly, I'm not going to lie. When I went to go look at his stats, because fantasy football-wise, he doesn't always have, like, big games, big numbers.
He's
But
consistent.
I'm kind of like, man, this guy ain't that
He's good
great.
for a touchdown a game.
And then I looked at his stats, and I'm like, yo, I got to put some respect on this motherfucker's name. Mm-hmm. This dude's got 1,000+ yards every single season
I
he's played.
blame social media.
One of my favorite things, too, is they used to like to dog Mike Evans' speed. And they asked him about this in an interview one time. They said, Mike, people dog your 40 and that you're not a fast wide receiver. What do you have to say to that? And he goes, look at the tape. You ever see anybody catch me from behind? Next question.
But honestly,
listen, all kidding aside, I blame social media.
Yeah, me too.
Mike Evans is putting up and has put up first ballot numbers.
Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah.
I thought this was the other one. Anyway,
And
yeah.
it's funny because 1 year he did literally get it by that inch. It was
1 yard.
One. Yeah.
First
Yeah, he's also got another one by 6 yards.
Yeah.
first ballot Hall of Famer. And the reason why we're not talking about it is because the cycle changes so fast and people have to talk about so many people so much, and you have to put so much into Tom Brady, and you have to put so much into off the field bullshit
Yeah.
that it gets lost in the noise. And I think that's a problem because
But
this guy's putting up.
Mike Evans has been a
He's
silent
amazing.
guy since college. Everybody was ranting and raving about Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike Evans was the guy
You
he
guys
was throwing it
forgot.
to.
And that's the other part. If you're not loud and in everybody's face, you get caught in that white noise. That's the other piece. Of
Like,
it.
look who's
For
left out of
sure.
that tandem. Johnny Manziel bombed out of the league. Mike Evans has been consistently,
Consistently is the word you're looking for.
goddamn, a number one receiver in Tampa.
Not to mention,
In the
you
league.
mentioned Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been here a season and a half.
Old Sparky.
He was putting up with Jameis Winston. He was putting up with, I think, last year, a Josh Freeman. He was putting up with Fitzmagic.
Love Fitzmagic, by the way.
He was putting up with a lot of guys that don't put up record numbers.
Okay, hold on. Fitzmagic was good here.
I like how you skipped over Jameis Winston, who has been throwing up crazy numbers.
He also had big numbers with Jameis, but Fitzmagic wasn't no scrub.
lightening her up 1-0.
Man, yes, he was.
What?
I don't disagree at all.
You guys are out of your mind.
He was a bum, bro.
Out of your minds.
No. Mike Evans has been throwing down for a very long time.
What about Dabo going to the Raider game?
Who cares?
I don't know, man.
Why do you do that? We agreed we weren't going to put anything into that because it's stupid. He was there to see Hunter Renfroe because he cares about his players.
There's
He's a
no
great
coaching
guy, and there's
iteration.
nothing else to that.
He gets to draft his own quarterback.
All right, so moving on because we said we weren't going to talk about. Don't slip that in there.
And we're going to get through with it because Dallas. Look at them get back on track.
I was about to say
Saints.
Cowboy Saints. Let's talk about that real quick.
Trayvon Diggs leading the league, 9 interceptions. Why are people still throwing it number 7? I don't get it. Make it make sense, guys.
So Taysom Hill tore his finger, broke his finger, right? Tore the same muscle that Russell Wilson tore.
Russ didn't know that.
And he still had 264 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
throwing. That's just throwing.
He also how many interceptions did he throw?
4.
There you go.
But he had 101 yards rushing.
That's great. He also gave the ball up way too much, and that just goes to show you that the turnover game wins. This guy put up over 300 yards, 264 in the air, 101 on the ground, and gave up the ball too damn much. And there goes Dallas, man, doing what they needed to do.
With a broken finger, though.
And Micah Parsons, that guy might be a defensive MVP of the year. The only guy I can see right now that's competing for that is on his team in Trayvon Diggs. You, as an Eagles fan,
definitely rookie of the year, but Parsons
cannot. Oh, there's nobody contending with him for defensive rookie of the year.
No,
nobody. But you've got to say, looking at the defensive side of the ball, it's Trayvon Diggs and maybe T.J. Watt.
The defensive side of the ball in the regular TJ.
I think TJ lost something when he went out for those.
No, dude. Did you see what TJ did? TJ single-handedly made Lamar throw the ball a little too early.
He went out, and he's also leading the league in 15 and a half sacks.
First of all, that's a crazy number. Second, if you look at that play in overtime at the end of that Baltimore game, he became so big that Lamar had to arm it around him.
Yeah.
Come on. The dude's a stud. Look at Pittsburgh with TJ Watt.
Winning the games.
And look at Pittsburgh without him. That defense is night and day.
I have to say this, too. When I picked the Ravens to win, TJ Watt was on COVID protocol.
I already knew he was coming back. And I even told you guys when we recorded, I'm like, TJ's coming back.
And I saw it coming. And before in the past, I've switched my pick, but I didn't want to do it. I said, you know what? The Ravens are doing good. I'll pick them to take this game. I thought it was their time. Silly me. Won't make that mistake again.
Let's talk about another NFC East game. The only game that matters in that division. Eagles-Jets. You know why?
Wow.
I signed up for some Minshew mania.
Hey, how many quarters of that game were the Eagles trailing to the Jets?
The first 2 quarters were pretty close. Our defense had
answer the question. How many quarters of that game were you trailing to the New York Football Jets?
It was 7-12 in the first quarter for the Jets.
So
the Jets were moving the ball.
So are you just trying to bleed us to get to 3 quarters that you were trailing to the Jets?
Are we just going to gloss over that we're even talking about it like it matters because they were playing the Jets? Are we just going to
Jets have been they've got 3 wins.
Honestly,
we're
bro,
ignoring that?
Hold on.
I'm not even listening
Wait,
to
guys.
this.
Ryan's checked out.
Stop.
He's done.
Well, Moss Sanders went 120.
Come on.
Guys, stop. Let's show some respect to the Eagles because of the valid point Nello just made. The Jets have 3 wins.
They do. Yeah.
3 tough wins.
Fuck off.
Well, one of them's from my team.
3 tough wins. They beat the Titans.
At home.
We beat them at home.
Hey, Nello.
Miles Sanders, 120 yards. Come on, you can't admit Gardner Minshew. What do you guys think? Is there a contract? Okay, let me just bring up this one.
This was another conversation that I want to have before we move on to next week. Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew. Let's keep going.
No, the Dolphins beat the Giants. Do you know who didn't beat the Giants?
I don't want to talk about this. If Gardner Minshew,
the Philadelphia Eagles,
you know what? We're gonna go there. Do you know why we didn't beat
the Miami Dolphins did though?
Okay, so
the Miami Dolphins did that. You were just shitting on the Dolphins not 10 minutes ago, and now you have to face the fact that a team that y'all could beat just got beat by him.
Listen,
I told you they won 5 in a row.
Gardner
Minshew
completed 20 passes.
So it's all Gardner.
6 of them went to wide receivers. That's it.
Let's hear the excuses.
So you mean he really threw 6 passes and then he threw 14 dumps?
He threw 14 dumps not dumps. He threw 6 passes to Goddard. He went 105 and 2 touchdowns. Then they got 5 for Kenneth Gainwell and 3 for Miles Sanders. 6 passes thrown to the wide receivers. The only reason we lost to the Giants is because Jalen Reagor needs to be working at the Dunkin' Donuts, making Jack's coffee the right way.
So a
something
team
about a Philly fan, man, they will just kill you.
A team.
Look at the damn punt he muffed in the game. He couldn't even catch special teams. He's a punt returner. That's what he was. How he drafted him, thinking he was the best.
A team that Ryan, who picks NFL the best, so must know more about it than we do because he's consistently better and overall better.
Hey.
Without
I'm catching up.
a little bit here and there, but Ryan, with his proven,
I am catching up.
I don't know. I haven't seen the
Ryan,
numbers.
with his proven knowledge of the NFL,
Am I catching
said
up? I don't even know.
that Miami is garbage this year. To which I tried to argue that, hey, they're on a 5-game winning streak, and y'all all cut me. Hold on, stop.
I agreed with you.
You were part of them two both cutting me up about who did they play in that 5-game win streak.
I did not say that. I said they have a 5-game win streak and they beat the Ravens.
You joined in on that, but you did agree with those two things as well. But you did join in that, other than the Ravens, there was really no other good victory, like victory to brag about. But
Winning
you're
5-6
sitting here
games in a
bragging
row.
about the Jets, and that team that you piled on about beat a team that you couldn't
It's
beat.
Minshew mania. Did you see him?
You couldn't beat the Giants.
There
and now
is something about Minshew
Here's what I
that I
love.
just
Here's what I
love,
love
by the
about Philly
It's the
fans and Nello in particular. He is trying to rationalize his argument that we have something to talk about with Gardner Minshew because
We do. The world
because
is
his
talking
team
about
that
it.
just lost to the Giants and then beat the Jets. Okay,
And it was trailing for 3 quarters.
One quarter.
and
3 quarters, my man.
and beat the Jets like that's something to talk about. Is now talking about this. I just love the full circle and how it all makes sense.
Let's talk about this for a few minutes before we get into picks for next week because we got to get into that. Are you buying Gardner Minshew as the future in Philly as the quarterback for now? Are you benching Jalen Hurts for Gardner Minshew? We had somebody who follows the show say that they are taking Minshew going forward. And I believe that person was Camilo.
Yeah, well, Camilo is still drunk wondering why Emory Jones is still starting at quarterback in Florida. Listen,
We're all wondering that.
the whole point of this is this. Gardner Minshew looked good. Did he look great? No. I would still take Jalen Hurts because he gives me 2 facets of the game. Pass catching and running the ball.
He's not that guy,
Something
pal.
Gardner won't do it.
Just like even though I'm
See,
bragging about,
I don't-
even though I'm boasting Miami up, I'm not bragging about them. I don't give a shit. But I'm lifting them up on this 5-game win streak. 2 is still not that guy, and neither is Jalen Hurts.
I don't think he's that guy.
He
but
has
when
no
you're looking
wide
at
receiver talent
when you're
besides
looking
Devontae.
at these 2 receivers, wow, I have never heard you stick up for an Alabama quarterback and wide receiver in the same breath, but it's good to hear it.
It's the truth.
I want to say, I don't know if Jalen is the answer, but he's better than Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew has had, at this point, more experience in the league.
True.
He's done better with worse.
Also true.
But I think when you're a defensive coordinator and you're trying to analyze Gardner Minshew compared to Jalen Hurts, you're going to have a much easier time with Gardner. You're going to be able to stop him before you will Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen's the better quarterback. That's me.
Gardner Minshew makes me feel like Falco. When Falco comes on the field, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He's a guy. He's a
Falco in the Sugar
he's
Bowl?
Just telling you.
He's
like a
a
mascot,
he's a fucking roadside show, is what you just said.
And I
That's
love it. I love it. It just
You
screams
just
to me. I can't
subconsciously
explain it.
dog Keanu, and I don't know if I'm okay with that.
No, because it's comparing reality
Falco
to
won
a
the
movie,
game.
and don't you ever accuse me of dogging Keanu.
He's a Highlander. He never
Okay.
gets old. No, but we have to talk
All
about
right.
one more game. We have to talk about one more game. The severe beating of the Cincinnati Bengals at home by the Chargers.
Unreal.
Like,
The
come
Bengals
on.
don't
Didn't
know.
see it.
The Bengals
Didn't
are
see it.
another
I
team.
did. I had the Chargers. but
They're another team who
didn't think it was
don't
gonna be like
know
that.
who they want to be. By the way, I just looked at a graphic that said who leads the NFL in interceptions? Joe Burrow. I mean,
some of them weren't his fault, like Jamar Chase juggling the ball to the corner.
at the end of the day, interceptions are interceptions. You're the one who garnered for him to be there. You lobbied for them to pick Chase. They asked you who you want. You picked Chase. Chase messed up. Sorry, dude. It was a bad throw.
Real quick, just to add into that point, that's a very good point. The Dolphins also kept the Giants to 9 points. But yes, it doesn't matter. When you throw that ball to a guy that you want there, that's on you, man. You're the quarterback. That's part of the position. That's why you're the second highest paid position in the league.
Yeah.
I also want to thank Carson Wentz for completing 75% of the snaps for the Indianapolis Colts and getting me a third first rounder. I love you, and I'm wearing your jersey today.
Let's go. All right, that's going to be our last recap for the week. We're getting into picks after this really quick break, so we'll be back in just a second talking about the next NFL week. Bucks, Bills. Who do we got?
Oh, boy.
Kirk Cousins, though.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Cigar City Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is the I can't shut the fuck up, Nello Camarota.
Hi.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
There's Clay. Muy bien, y tú?
Me too. I ain't what I'm supposed to say.
Just before we get to the picks, this guy over here is on a 3-game skid in fantasy football.
Ryan, what's up?
Bro, I wouldn't pay attention.
I'm sorry.
I lost to a team I shouldn't have this week. That sucks, too, because I wanted to surpass you at first.
That's not going to happen. That's
Nature.
That's
My
mine.
team let me
I mean,
down
it's
a little
over.
bit.
Like 131 points.
I'll beat you in the playoffs.
Nature
set match.
and
I'll beat you in the
weather
playoffs.
came back
It's a game set match.
and got after me. Okay, so picks for this week. Let's get into it. Week 14. And FL, I'm going to run this one here for us.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this and start our
Go
picks
slow
off
because he's
with-
typing this
I got to
shit.
type this shit out.
You want me to do that?
Let's do it.
I live on Excel.
Okay. I don't
Okay,
care.
yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Let's
so-
do that.
First game of the week. This is one
Oh,
that,
no, but I really have some really nice names on here.
that hurts my heart. It's a hard one to pick. Pittsburgh at Minnesota. We'll start with Nello, work counterclockwise. Nello, who you got? Pittsburgh, Minnesota. In Minnesota.
This is why are we even talking? Kirk Cousins is going to get eaten for lunch, breakfast, dinner, and then TJ Watt might have leftovers on the plane. Give me the Steelers.
You got Pittsburgh. Clay, who you got? Oh, boy.
I mean, I'm going to take Pitt, but, man, they just look like crap. I hate it. I do,
That
but
I don't
defense, though,
disagree.
looks so good.
I just think that Pittsburgh has found a way to win and Minnesota has found a way to lose. I got Pittsburgh, too.
I'm taking Pittsburgh because it's the Vikings. Let's say that.
Ryan, who you got?
Skull.
Oh, wow. He's going Vikings
That's
against
just,
all of
everybody
us.
went Pittsburgh. I'm going to take the
That's all
opposite.
right. That's all right. It's in Minnesota.
That is-
Why?
all right,
Why?
All right, hold on
Why?
real quick.
No Dalvin Cook?
That's not what Ryan does. Ryan picks who he thinks going to win, and I'm not going to, hey, mark this
I
right
literally
now.
Just
Not going to be surprised if
way.
he's right and we're all wrong. Here you go.
No Dalvin
There it
Cook?
is. This is the shit that
Madsen?
happens.
Matson's been putting up though.
How many weeks you got to see this shit play out to not believe that it's
okay.
going to happen?
Matson's been
We're
putting
all
up-
going to be wrong now. You want to switch your pick yet?
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
thinking
Kirk
about it.
Cousins is going to get murked.
JJ
Okay.
Watt, I mean, TJ Watt is a big factor, but they also have a guy by the name of Adam Thielen.
Who was
Got
out
another-
injured? Who was out
Oh, is
injured?
he out?
No.
okay.
So
He's
he was
injured.
out this past weekend, but we will see what happens over the week. He may
Still
he may
questionable.
be in. He
Still
may be in.
questionable.
And then there's
As of right now,
Jefferson.
he's
There's still
questionable.
Jefferson.
And there's still Jefferson, and Madison's been putting up points too.
Jefferson is a freaking beast.
I'm always worried when he picks
So-
different than me. So
all right,
that's where I
so
stand.
let's go. Baltimore, Cleveland. Get it, Nello. What you got?
In Baker,
Baltimore.
Baker, we trust.
In Cleveland.
Give me the Cleveland Browns. I think that defense.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
they're- the Lamar Jackson show has been debunked, and Myles Garrett's going to put another name on that jacket.
I'll remind you that they are 0-1 to the Ravens this year. Go ahead, Clay.
But it's in Cleveland.
Yeah, they lost in Baltimore.
I'm worried about the Ravens' production as of late,
Okay.
and because they're in Cleveland, I'm going to take Cleveland.
And I think Kareem Hunt's coming back.
Ooh. Is it going to be the lone man out? Ryan, who do you have? I know who I have. I have the Cleveland Browns winning in Cleveland, so let's see. Is he going to go with Lamar? Does Lamar
Honestly, I was, but what he said makes a lot of is kind of how I feel. They're like on a decline. Like his production hasn't really
You know why? Because people are stopping the run and making him throw.
Yeah.
I feel like they're learning. Like they've seen enough tape.
So you're going Cleveland?
So I'm also going Cleveland, and I'm
All
hoping
right.
that Chubb actually does.
I'm going to let you kick this next one off because I have a feeling I know where you're going with it. I've got the Tennessee Titans at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where you at, Ryan?
I swear to God, we better not lose to no Jacksonville.
So you're picking Jacksonville
I'm
all the
picking
way.
Tennessee all the
Tennessee Titans.
I got Tennessee, man.
Me too. I think this is the easier pick of the week.
Who's going to play offense for the Titans?
Why are you even discussing this?
No,
you
no.
are taking the Titans for
Hey,
real?
let him do it. Go with Jacksonville.
Who's playing? Is J.J. Brown coming back? Julio isn't. I know Derrick Henry isn't. Who's playing offense for the Tennessee?
I want to
Let
say
me-
I read today that Julio has actually come off his IR designation.
Yeah, they actually took him off IR, but he may not come back this week.
Let me ask you a question. Who the fuck cares? It's Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, man. Come
They
on.
have found a way to lose almost every game this year. They have been underwhelming, and yes, I put this squarely on the shoulders of Urban Meyer.
He doesn't have the talent. Give me the
Before
Jags.
Love it. I love it. Tennessee. I can't pick it fast enough. Give me the Titans at home
This is gonna be a
against
defensive game.
Jacksonville.
It's gonna be a defensive game.
You might want to Google and see if Urban owns any bars in Nashville. If he does.
I mean, he was already
change that.
in L.A. If he was going to do something like
Golly.
that, L.A. would have
He
been.
really picked him. Okay.
All right.
Raiders, Chiefs.
I'm go Chiefs. Raiders have been a good team this year, but like last week that we didn't highlight, a good defense can shut down the Raiders, and the Washington football team happened to do that. They are streaking. They're a good team, but the Chiefs are a better team. Give me the Chiefs.
I'm also gonna echo what you said, but say that this turnaround for the Chiefs from this lackluster start, their defense has been on point. They have played some pretty damn good lockdown defense. And I think if you shut down Derek Carr, what do they really have left? Not a lot. You know, Joshua Jacobs, he's great. No, I get that. But, you know, Kenyon Drake's out, so now you don't have your top change of pace guy. I just don't see how the Chiefs don't win. I can't figure.
And they have been improving
that
every week.
defense has been nasty the last 2 weeks.
Defense has
Sorensen
come
with a
back
big
and been
pick
carrying
six.
him. We're not. I don't know what's going on with Mahomes. He's on the face of like milk cartons, missing in action. I don't know what's going on.
He's probably focused on work.
I'll still take the Chiefs because I don't think Oakland has the firepower to stay in this game.
I don't think they have the defense to keep up with the Chiefs, but yeah, that's why I'm picking them. Ryan, who you got?
I got the Chiefs all day.
All right. This one right here is a very interesting game. I have pick regret on this team. I really want to go with the New York Jets in this game. I really do. At home. Because it's Taysom Hill and because they have been sucking it up lately, and Taysom is a guy to take advantage of. You know what? Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets. I don't want to have pick remorse. I'd rather pick and be wrong than pick the Saints and lose. Give me the Jets.
I think Alvin Kamara comes back, and I think he's going to run all over the fucking Jets. Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Even if
Kamara is back, that might change my outlook. But no Kamara, no Saints victory.
even if without him, Taysom Hill and Ingram are going to go up and down the field. They can't
Okay.
stop the run.
Okay.
I got to take the Saints over the Jets, just like I'm saying that he shouldn't brag about Philly beat the Jets.
With the Jets leading the
Jets.
Eagles, who right now I would pick the Eagles over the Saints, and the Jets leading
We beat the Saints.
the Eagles for 3 quarters, I'll stick with my Jets pick. Go ahead, Ryan. What you got?
I'm going to take the Saints.
I'll be all by myself on this one. In the famous quote, so you're all on the Saints.
So I got to announce this next one because we got to read it. It's the Dow Cowgirls versus the Washington football team, in parentheses, losers.
I need them to lose to get the wild card. They're the losers.
Wow.
And the
So that's where
Cowgirls.
we're at there.
Yeah, the Cowgirls. They're going to win this game.
Don't be surprised if Washington wins this game.
Cowgirls.
And I would say this, if they didn't have Amari, CD, and Zeke and Tony Pollard and Dak Prescott,
And
you're missing any part of that equation. I'm going football team. Give me Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas. That's easy.
I'm taking Dallas, and I'm gonna call it. Your boy Diggs gets 2 more picks.
2 more
From Heineke.
Well,
no
that's
way.
not crazy.
No way.
The only way he
It's not
does
crazy
it.
because Heineke's got balls to throw his way.
The only way he doesn't get 2 is if after the first one they just say you cannot throw to that side of the field. That's the only way he doesn't get 2. I actually see that for sure.
If
They've
Dallas
only got 1 wide receiver. He doesn't have a choice.
If Eazy-E and Tony Pollard can run wild, this is going to be a high-scoring game.
They can't.
It's going to be like
They
crazy.
can't. They can't run wild.
On the other
Washington
hand,
front 7 is one of the best in football.
If the Dallas Cowboys can stop Antonio Gibson, then Trayvon Diggs, whatever his name is, going to get
Is
2
going to
picks.
eat.
But
Yeah.
if Gibson is running the ball and playing like he wants to win, he can run on that defense, then it's not going to be 2 picks. He's just going to keep feeding him the rock.
I'm going to start with Clay on this next one. Atlanta versus Carolina in Carolina.
You did that on purpose, didn't
Yes,
you?
Yeah,
I
he did.
damn sure did. Who you got going?
Carolina, by the
man.
way, without Joe Brady, who just got fired this week.
Yeah, without their offensive coordinator. But Cam is back.
Right?
So that won't matter.
Yeah. Didn't you say 3 touchdowns in one game, first start of the year?
Yep.
All right. That was another book it moment in the toilet,
Most
huh?
recently have eaten more crow, but yeah, for sure. I got to be honest with you, man. I'm going to take the Falcons.
I don't disagree.
I think we're going to have another great game out of Cordero Patterson because that's what he's done all year, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Ryan's going to show up and put up a pretty good – I think Matt Ryan's going to be 300-plus yards, multiple touchdowns.
Ryan,
Not sure
where-
if it's 2 or 3.
Where you at?
But that's where I think they're going to – I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I don't think it's going to really be close. And mind you, it's in Carolina.
Yeah. No, I know.
But I still think that.
Ryan, where you at?
I'm gonna go with the.
He doesn't know.
The Falcons.
He doesn't know. I'm going Falcons, and I think Kyle Pitts has a huge game. I think that tight end is going to be very good against that Carolina defense. Stephon Gilmore is going to have to guard somebody at wide receiver. He can't guard everybody on the damn field. Give me the Falcons. Give me Kyle Pitts. Nello, who you got?
Carolina.
Here you go.
I like maybe with a new OC getting a fresh start, maybe Matt Rule can try to corral somebody into running Cam the right way.
All right.
I don't know.
I think this one's across the board. Seattle, Houston.
Yeah, Seattle. Tyrod Taylor tore his wrist or hurt his wrist. He's out for the game.
Yeah.
Mills is starting. This is a no-brainer.
Seattle. Clay, who you got?
All right, so we got Seattle. It's the Texans. I'm Seattle. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, Seattle.
I think this is where they pad some stats.
All right, Denver, Detroit in Denver. I got the Broncos winning in Mile High.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right.
Detroit Lions
Say it.
first win. Give me the Broncos in Mile High.
I'm the same, dude.
Taking the Broncos.
This is
as
a
well.
no-brainer.
I know,
a good
but
one. This
Teddy
is another
Two Gloves.
easy one.
Hold on. The New York, as it reads, Little Giants
they are the Little Giants.
versus the L.A. Chargers. The Little Giants that beat the Philadelphia
Because
Eagles.
Jalen Rager can't catch the ball.
Wow.
does that mean it was baby Eagles? If the Little Giants
No, it's the Jalen
beat the
Rager can't
baby
catch the
Eagles?
toilet
Is it
paper.
the Philadelphia Seagulls?
Yo, Jalen Rager, if you're
Hey.
out there, watch the movie Little Giants. When the ball comes to you, just picture it's toilet paper. Maybe you might be able to catch it.
All right.
Hey,
I think we've all got Chargers in that game,
Yeah,
right?
easy.
I would
right?
freaking hope so.
You know who's starting that game? Jake Fromm.
All right.
He
From
came
New York?
Yeah, because
Yeah, from Georgia.
yeah.
All right.
Jones has got a neck
And I
problem,
honestly
and
take great offense to you comparing Jalen Rager to my boy Hot Hands Hanen.
Hot Hands Hanen. Call my boy Jalen and give him some pointers on how to catch this ball.
All right. So we've got Cincy, who's been not deciding whether or not they're good or not, going against San Francisco in Cincinnati. Another big game in Cincinnati. Last one, they were really, to me, expected to win that game if they wanted to compete, and they could not do it. So against San Francisco, do they pick up the win?
I'll take San Francisco if Joe Burrow's pinky is still broken or swollen or whatever.
I
'Cause
thought you said that was Taysom Hill that hurt his finger, not Joe Burrow.
both of them did.
Joe Burrow is a swollen piggy, yeah.
Dude, I saw him trying to throw the ball. He was playing the whole game, and he looked like he was in pain when he was throwing the ball.
I'm still taking Cincy.
So if Burrow's
Either
in
way.
the game, I'm taking Cincy. But if he's out, give me the.
Great. Now we got to track
the
that.
Niners.
Lovely.
I'll track it.
All right. Who you got, Ryan?
think since my man Kittle's been showing up, I think I'm going to take the 49ers.
181 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Different defense, better defense. Give me Cincinnati.
Did you ask the Chargers what they thought of that defense?
We all win Chargers.
So the next one on
Joey
this one,
Bosa went out with a concussion, by the way.
the next one on this one is the Buffalo Crybaby Bills.
Did you hear McDermott?
Seahawks.
Did you hear McDermott today? Come on.
Don't give Belichick credit.
Don't give Belichick any credit. Belichick deserves more credit than you do.
Crybaby Bills.
They were.
Versus the Seahawks.
No, they're not. They're playing the Bucks, aren't they?
No, they're playing the Bills. Or the Bucks.
Wait a minute. Why are you saying that? Yeah, the Bills are playing the Bucks.
Oh, dude, you know what?
Here we go.
Yeah, it copied and pasted it.
All right. Well, that's fine. So,
I was like, we already picked the Seahawks to beat the Texans. That's wrong.
Tampa Bay Bucks
Versus the Bills.
versus Bills.
All right. This is a tough game.
It is.
This is a game that I normally, at the beginning of the season, circled the Buccaneers losing.
Bucks
The
all
way
day.
that the Bills have been playing lately, they have shown me no reason to think that they could come into Tampa and beat Tom Brady the way that he's been playing. Give me the Bucks all day. Just because we have been streakier, we have been much more consistent on offense, and they have been suspect on offense, and our defense is starting to hit its stride. Give me the Bucks.
We're going to see the Buffalo defense actually miss Tre'Davious White this week because of the weather. Nobody threw the ball. Mac Jones went 2 for 3 for 19 yards. What a stellar MVP performance. Give me the Bucks. Bucks are going to run all over this team. They're going to pass all over this team. This game is going to be really ugly.
Yeah, I think if we see Fournette 2 weeks ago, that's going to be nasty.
Yeah.
But either way, the way this offensive line has been blocking for Brady and Brady's been throwing, they're going to cut that secondary to pieces.
That secondary is in trouble.
No
with
Tre'Davious
people with no Tre'Davious White, who's their best player in the secondary.
Even if he was
this is
there.
another easy Tom Brady 300+ yards, multiple touchdowns.
Not to mention, we're forgetting Tom Brady is extraordinarily familiar with the Buffalo secondary.
Very.
The only saving grace is the fact that Josh Allen and that receiver core is good enough to maybe expose some of the weakness in the Bucs secondary.
Yeah.
But if you can't run the ball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and they can't.
You
so
know?
it's
so they
gonna
don't
be a
have, the
sellout.
Bucs have nobody to worry about.
Sell out in the secondary with a lot of Devin White blitzes right at the middle. Who
There you go.
Devin White has had an all-star season this year.
JPP, those ends are going to eat. Shaq Barrett is going to get going to be in Josh Allen's face.
This is one of the only gimmies of the week. Green Bay with Chicago coming to town. Green Bay. There's nobody going Chicago,
Easy.
right? I mean,
no one's going Chicago, but it's not going to be a blowout. These teams both play each other really good.
Khalil Mack's out. It's a blowout.
Rodgers
Give me Green
owns
Bay
them.
by
Rodgers
2
owns
touchdowns.
them.
By 2 touchdowns.
Green Bay's winning.
You know what? Screw that. Red Rocket.
You're going with Andy Dalton against one of the best defenses
Don't care.
in the league.
Red Rocket.
Okay. There goes your credibility, right?
David
with the Red
Montgomery,
Rocket.
Red Rocket. Let's go.
Who you got?
Oh, I got the Packers, but I'm also
Oh,
wondering if they got the best defense in the league. They're suspect. So
This is
I agree with him, too.
This is a telltale sign of how the playoffs are going to go for the Arizona Cardinals. They are on fire. Nobody has really exposed the Cardinals. They haven't played a lot of top tier talent, in my opinion. They have beat the shit out of the Rams already. But this is at home. Rams coming to town. Rams got a lot to lose. Who do we got? Arizona going against the Rams.
The saddest part about this whole game is that Arizona's 10-2, and it's like the sneakiest, quiet 10-2
Yeah,
in like the NFL.
I don't disagree.
Like even on like when you watch ESPN and stuff, they're not really talking about the Cardinals. It's like such a sneaky thing. And the Rams, they're so streaky. The Rams are streaky. They look great against the Jags. Don't get me wrong, but is that really saying much?
Yeah.
And then when they played a team that's actually worth a damn, where'd they go?
Yeah, they've disappeared. They beat the Bucks. They beat us. They're designed to beat us. They do great against Tampa Bay. However, against teams like this,
And James Conner, did you see that spin catch that he had?
no. But I
My
gotta say,
God.
the only person who I feel has owned Jalen Ramsey is DeAndre Hopkins. He's the only human that I can say has owned Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. And he looked good last week, too.
This was an easy Arizona pick for me.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. I agree. But I'm just saying it's really quiet. Like, they're 10-2. They're not even making noise in the media.
Yeah. Give me Kyler Murray being able to run away from Aaron Donald and escape the pressure. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah. Although, did anybody see Cooper Kupp dissecting his touchdown? Did you see that Twitter clip?
Like, she called for one play, and he dissected the entire defense in that post-game interview. It's sort of ridiculous.
Oh, it was awesome.
The way that he does that.
That's why he's so good.
I mean, clearly. I mean, the way that he was able to call that out.
You know what it makes me want to hear? Devontae Smith give you the same rundown.
Let me give you this.
Because they both run these clean, perfect routes.
Let me give you this, if it's what I think it is. Just a real quick clip.
Your touchdown specifically, your defender went and blitzed. What did you see there? How were you able to use that to your advantage?
Yeah, they just had a little 3-deep fire zone, brought the nickel off the edge, safety dropped down. It didn't look like they were doing a replacement fire zone, so I knew at the back away we were going to get 3 pushing through. I had an opportunity to kind of run in there if I could beat my guy and just had to beat the safety to the end zone.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Let me just get a round of applause for dissecting.
Did he fucking... Yo, Cooper Kupp. Stop asking why he's the best wide receiver in the league this year.
Yeah.
Stop asking.
For people that still want to try to hate on Brady, have you watched any of the Man in the Arena? It's on Hulu?
No.
ESPN Plus?
No.
Yeah, you got Hulu?
Yeah.
No, I have ESPN Plus, though.
Watch it. 4th episode just came out today. Can't wait to watch it. Watch the first 3. You've heard Tom Brady talk about what he sees and what he thinks, and you're just like, it's the same kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're thinking about all of that and lining that up as you're walking up to the line to snap the ball, and you're seeing all of that and understanding in the mic and all of this and snap counts and learning that, and all of that shit is the same thing. And that's why Cooper Kupp, I mean, look, dude, we were talking about Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, first ballot Hall of Famer, putting up those numbers. Like, people are talking about Cooper Kupp when it comes to fantasy, but are they really talking about Cooper Kupp much outside of that?
No,
but he's doing the same thing.
I mean, to be fair,
And that's what these guys see. They see that shit before it happens, and then as it happens, they're like, oh, I need to cut this way instead of this way, and a little bit more this way. Clean routes.
It's
taking a week off from
It
football.
is amazing.
It's people playing chess while others are playing checkers.
It's so impressive. Love it.
To hear Cooper Kupp call it out like that
Crazy.
from one play.
Crazy.
Hey, number 1 team in the nation. Roll fucking Tide, baby.
I got a bye week from the NFL, too, so I'm doing it with the Eagles.
You do.
Woo!
That is another good week from the Cigar City Sports Podcast team. Thank God the Eagles have a bye. We don't have to hear the bullshit. Y'all have a great week. We will catch you next week. Oh, my goodness. Thanks so much, everybody.